carry you, and we will live forever, forever. The sun begins to rise and wash away the sky, the turning of the tide. Don't leave it all behind, and I will never say goodbye. When angels fall with broken wings, I can't give up, I can't give in. When all is lost and daylight ends, I carry you, and we will live forever, 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 forever. Stand helpless and left for dead. Close your eyes, so many days go by, easy to find what's wrong, harder to find what's right. I believe in you, I can show you that I can see right through all your empty lies. I won't stay long in this world so wrong. Say goodbye as we dance with the devil tonight. Don't you dare look at him in the eye as we dance with the devil tonight. Trembling, crawling across my skin, feeding your cold dead eyes, stealing the life of mine. I believe in you, I can show you that I can see right through all your empty lies. I won't last long in this world so wrong. Say goodbye as we dance with the devil tonight. Don't you dare look at him in the eye as we dance with the devil tonight. Hold on, hold on. Oh, I got chats. Okay. Sup, I'm first again. Okay, my washing machine is insistent on singing for some reason. Sup, I'm first again. How's the vacuum collection so far? It's alright. Hi there, love when you sing. Thank you. Rick Hoover says, sup. Mason, did you see Performance Reviews video on the Moose 2 that you have? He made that thing look so bad. Oh, yeah, he did. And, yeah, you know why he made it look so bad? Because this thing's a piece of shit, and I don't like it. Okay, no. I don't want to be mean, but, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's definitely not, what's the word? Good. Is that a rainbow on the left? I don't have a rainbow in this house. I do have a rainbow sitting out on the front porch, though, that's broken. And it's the only rainbow that I currently own. But yeah. So no, look, in all seriousness, this thing is not a bad vacuum. But it is not a good vacuum. This thing, I mean, because I don't want to be mean and say that, oh, this thing's like the worst piece of shit, because obviously, you know, it's, there could always be things that are worse. I still think this thing is better than like any Dirt Devil that you could buy nowadays, but it also is pretty close to one of the worst vacuums that well, it is easily, I will say this, it is the worst vacuum that I've ever tried for $150. And because that's the same price that you could get the Hoover Tempo T Series, that's the same price that MSRP a Powerlifter bag pet is, that's the same MSRP as a Navigator Liftaway, although I think those are like $160 now, which is weird how like the purple ones have gone up in price, but the blue ones are still $100. And yeah, like that's just, there's, okay, my fiance's playing really loud like Japanese weeaboo music in the bedroom, and that was confusing me because I can hear it in my headphones. But yeah, so this Musu, I haven't done the full review on it yet, but to say that that I'm not impressed with this thing would be an understatement. I feel bad for saying that because, but at the same time, it does kind of prove, because people sometimes say that, oh, if you get a free vacuum, then that means that you're going to always say something nice about it. And that's not true, because the first 2 free vacuums that I got have completely different outlooks on. And I also noticed that Alex joined the voice chat for like 17 seconds, didn't say anything, and then left. But that's okay. So, I guess because I retracted me saying the Musu was a piece of shit, I guess that drove him away. But anyways, so here's the thing. This Musu is about the same price as that Honiture, both of which I got for free for review purposes. And here's the thing. If the stick vac Musus, which I haven't tried any of those yet, if the stick vac Musus are oh, that's cool. He just posted the review for the Bissell Zing. Oh, that's awesome. Better than the Musu. Yes, that is true. That Bissell Zong is better than the Musu. And the reason I call it Zong is because someone local to me sent, or not sent, but they listed one of the Bissell Zings, and they listed it as the Bissell Zong. And I will now forever call it the Bissell Zong. So the Bissell Zong for $60 is better than this Musu at $150. Because at the very least, the fact that this Musu does perform better than that Bissell, but it barely performs better than that Bissell. At least I'm assuming. I haven't used that Bissell yet, but I would bet you this thing barely performs better than that Bissell on carpets. And the Bissell has much more of an excuse because it's a straight suction cleaner. But I mean, on hard floors, this Bissell obviously is going to be way better on hard floors, and probably on most carpets too, unless you have like the right type of carpet. Because this Musu here, you know what, I'm gonna spoil the review so far, because I will say that you know, I guess since Alex didn't do the full review on it, which I understand, because I understand why I didn't want to, but since he didn't do it, I'll do the full review on it, which I was planning on doing anyways, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But here are the strong points for the Musu. The strong points for the Musu are it's lightweight. It's lightweight. It looks cool, in my opinion. That's obviously subjective. Most people don't like the way it looks. And the only other things I can say that are good about it is... What was the other thing? Oh, it has a ton of suction. The suction on it's really good. And...
Fact wrong.
That's about it. What?
Fact check wrong.
Fact check wrong? What do you mean?
Yeah, it loses its efficiency so fast because it doesn't have a cyclone. By the way, hello.
Hi, Alex. Well, I mean, look, I'm saying well, here, I'll explain why I said that I think it has good suction. And that's because I think that when I tested it, now I don't have any sort of like suction meter, but I mean, I can put my hand on it and see how much suction it has, and also see how much it's sucking to the floor. And I will say this, that I don't know if it's because of the suction or if it's because of the way that the head is designed, but it sucks itself to the floor, like actually does suck itself to the floor. The problem is that it sucks itself to the floor and not as much to the carpet, and since it does awful on cleaning floors, like hard floors, then it doesn't really
Wait, you
matter.
actually tried hard floor?
What?
You tried it on hard floor?
I did. And
God,
tis
you're a masochist.
what'd you say?
You're a masochist.
I am a masochist. Well, to be fair, I don't have any like delicate wood floors or anything like that in my house.
I no. If the brush doesn't stop spinning, I won't put it on my hard floor.
Well,
I'll put it tile maybe, but no, that machine is not made for hard floor.
no.
To be good to it.
And I knew that it wasn't. I knew that it wasn't going to be good on hard floors, but I wanted to see how bad it actually was. And so whenever I'm testing a vacuum like that, I'll put it right on the edge of my hard floors, right where the transition strip goes to carpet. So whenever it inevitably kicks everything back, it kicks it onto the carpet and not, out throughout the floor. And that's exactly what it did. I tried it with multiple materials. I forgot all what I tried it with. I tried it with like oatmeal, and I tried it with like a what is it called? It's the just like the rice cereal.
Breakfast cereal and cat litter are my favorite thing on hard floor.
Yeah.
And when you do your hard floor test, be barefoot. I know you make fun of me for being barefoot, but be barefoot because if it kicks stuff back, you'll feel it in your feet.
Right. Yeah, and I do yeah, and I do usually do that whenever I'm actually like testing it. But yeah, like so that is a good point, is that you will actually notice it on your feet if it is missing something. Whereas if you just like bend down and you're like wiping it with your hand, you might miss something otherwise. But or you can always just run another vacuum after it that actually does do good on floors and see what it picks up that it left behind as well. Yeah, Rice Krispies. How did I not know the name for Rice Krispies cereal? Because it's the Fruity Pebbles, but the non-flavored ones. I don't know how I remember. I didn't remember that.
Have you ever tried like the Eureka or the Sanitaire Big Cup machines that are kind of like this but better made?
Big Cup? Sanitaire Big Cup. Oh, the Whirlwind Big Cup?
Oh yeah, that's the other word for it. Yeah. Yeah.
I actually haven't tried it yet, but I literally am about to buy one from another collector like within the next couple days. So it's funny you mentioned that, because I have the non-Big Cup version of the Whirlwind, but I haven't tried the Big Cup version. But I am about to.
This is like a knockoff of that. This is like a knockoff of that.
Well,
with a screen over the filter.
Well, from what I understand, because I actually look, because whenever I first got it, what?
So what machine are you guys talking about?
We're talking about the Musu.
Talking about the Musu, probably the worst $150 you can spend.
Oh god.
Yeah, and
you know something funny about those? Those originally weren't even $150. The only reason why those are $150 now is because they raised the price of them because of the fucking pandemic. It slowed down their factory and shit.
I mean, that's with everybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
those are originally being
right now. They're hard to get because of the pandemic right now. Numerous. You can't get a Henry right now either because of the pandemic.
Those were originally being sold as
they were Hoovers.
The Puppy U S7 and S8. Those are being sold through eBay and Amazon.
I remember that.
Yeah, they were being sold for like $70 and $80.
I forgot about that.
What's funny is,
Mr. Oddball Dodge, you need to change your name to Vacuum Encyclopedia.
I managed. Well, no, Vacuum Jesus is good enough. I used
Encyclopedia Jesus.
I remember when
Vacuum Jesus is in reference to Gun Jesus. Then I guess yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course. Those machines, when they were first selling those in the U.S., they weren't even selling them like through Amazon or anything. They were strictly through eBay, and
I remember seeing those. Yeah.
They didn't even bother selling them as like buy it now auctions at first. They were selling them as fucking eBay auctions, and I managed to win mine brand new for like $30.
Okay, you know what? $30 is the right price for this machine.
Yeah. I was the only one bidding on it too. The only reason why I bought it is because it was a brand I had never. The only reason why I bought it is because it was from a brand I had never heard of, and because it was brand new. And I thought, let's see how terrible this is, because I need one to replace an eons old Kirby and an eons old Preferred that my parents and the one I was using. So one went. So what happened was my one ended up going in the garbage after a while because it, well, shat the bed predictably.
Well, like the motor went out, or like what happened to it?
And just broke.
Just fell apart.
You know, it may have ate some gravel and a few machine screws. Let's not get into that. But yeah, and my parents still have the one that I gave to my parents. That one is sitting in my graveyard right now because it needs a new filter. And guess what? You can't get filters, or frankly anything for that machine because
No.
the pandemic.
You can get filters. I looked it
For
up.
the-
Oh, you can?
So
the
you
one
have to
I-
buy 10 of them at a time, and they're like $30 for 10 of them. So they're reasonably priced, but you have to buy 10 of
Yeah.
them.
Well, I might just see if the ones for the Musu will work in the one I have. The one I got from my parents.
Maybe the logic is you spend more money on the machine, but then you save the money on the parts. Maybe that's like a way to get.
What's funny is
That's actually kind of smart.
What's even funnier is the one that machine, that like general design of machine. That's one of those ones where it's like a generic design you get from like Alibaba or somewhere like that.
That's exactly what it is. It's like a simplicity vacuum.
Well, here's what I heard.
Well, no, it's because before they were selling those as Musu, before the Puppy U, before all that.
They were
shit.
Hoover.
No, they weren't. They were
saw
being
them.
sold. They were a contract machine being sold here in the U.S. for Aldi. There's videos you can go find on them.
Aldi?
You mean Aldi, like the grocery store that you have to put
Yes.
coins in
No,
carts?
I've never seen one of those
Yes.
at Aldi, and I've been going
They
to
were
Aldi
selling
forever.
those.
I've
They
never
were
seen
selling.
one.
Well, no, let me explain.
No.
They sold those for a time back in 2017. They sold 3 different machines. There was that, a cordless machine that I hear was utterly terrible, and one other machine that I can't remember what it was. But yeah, that was the original version of it.
Well,
Well,
here's
That's horrible.
you go, Alex.
I'm just saying that the machine is horrible.
Yeah.
Even the $120 Bissell I got from Walmart just for fun that like a year ago is a better machine objectively, like in all possible measures.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys a video of. I'll show you guys video at some point of the Easy Home version of it, the original Aldi version of it.
Guys,
The reason why you're probably not going to see an Aldi the original version of that machine is because it has to do with how Aldi stocks items. Typically, the way Aldi stocks big stuff, like it'd be small appliances like a vacuum or an air fryer or a hair dryer or a TV or something like that.
air fryer, hair dryer.
I haven't been in Aldi since I was like 12 years old, and I moved out of
Oh.
County, because you know
I go there all the time.
Wait, where are you from?
Oh, I was born in Cook County, Illinois.
Ah, hey,
I go to-
represent.
I go to Aldi all the time because
Right.
I go to Aldi all the time because the stuff's higher quality and they've got better inventory than if you go to Walmart or Target.
Oh yeah, Aldi's great.
Yeah,
Just don't-
and the
just-
thing about those machines
just don't forget
is,
your cord.
is that I don't know why at some point they changed the name of the company from Puppy U to Musu. I don't know if it was like
I don't
they
think
got
it's
like
the same company.
eventually they got
Is
too
it?
much of a bad reputation or something. But when you guys first brought up that you had these machines, I was like, hey, wait a minute, that looks familiar. That looks a lot like something I have.
Yeah.
And I went down and looked, and I was like, holy shit, it's this machine again. This is the 3rd or 4th time they've tried selling them here in the U.S. And they're utterly terrible. I would not recommend buying one.
Well, I do agree with that statement, but I will say, just in case Musu's watching this, because I don't like to just shit on a machine. I like to actually say, hey, here's how you can make this not shit. So, so the biggest problems that I have with it are, as far as cleaning performance, the suction on it is fine. I mean, it's nothing to write home about, but I did think it was pretty impressive out of the box.
Yeah, but it could be better.
But it could always be better. But wasn't necessarily a complaint to me because it seemed like it was perfectly passable. And then the main problem, well, there's a few main problems. Number one, it doesn't use a proper tool fitting, which is really bad because of the second complaint that it does not work at all on hard floors. So because it doesn't work on hard floors and there's no standard fitting,
it does.
No,
it barely works on hard floors because
No.
I've used it on there before. It
If
barely works.
if you have nothing, if your hard floors are already clean, and you
It
have
reminds me,
a
I
hard
need to
floor
ask
that
this
you don't
real
care
quick.
about, then
What
yes.
amperage are the machines you guys have?
The Musus?
Yeah. What amperage is it?
I thought it was 10 or 12, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, because I was going to say
It's
they
like
may have.
1,200 watts. It's
It's
for, like, the
1,400
maximum
watts.
Read the thing on the back, Tracy, because I boxed mine up and threw it on eBay.
Mine says
Um,
like 1,400 watts or something. On
Yeah,
it,
mine
I
says
think.
Musu upright vacuum cleaner model U1400-A, voltage 120 volts, 60 hertz, power 1,400 watts. And
So no amperage at all?
no, just wattage.
No.
Okay, that is hilarious. Because the one I have
And on the
says
box,
it's 10
it's
amps.
the same thing. It just says 1,400 watts. I believe
Yeah,
1,400
mine-
watts is about 10 amps, though.
I was going to say, the rating
Because-
plate on mine says 10 amps on it. It has the amperage and everything written.
Well, and the reason I think it's 10 amps as well is because, as you know, I have, like, the most experience with Bissells. And this sounds like the 10 amp Bissell motor that's in all the current commercial power forces and in the older ones, too.
Mhm.
Like, it sounds like
Motors
that
are
10 amp motor.
extremely cheap in them.
I want to mention that this machine is so bad that they can't sell it on the Chinese market. The Chinese would never buy this machine.
Well, it's because... does anyone... Okay, I need to ask this, because you probably have the most experience with this, Alex. Does a market for uprights exist at all in Asia? Because I know
The
in
upright
Japan...
market only exists in the U.S., the U.K., and certain parts of Australia. It does not exist in the rest of the world.
Okay.
There are some Kirby's sold in Russia, and that's it.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, I know uprights are a thing. I know they're more common, and I know they're more common in the Western Hemisphere. Like, you have Vorwerk and
US,
Sibo
Canada.
and
You
Europe.
know what? I should clarify. There are Volworks and Dyson stick vacuums for sale in China.
Yeah. Like I know uprights are mostly a Western thing, but I was just curious if that's even a market segment in
No, it's
Asia.
not a market. It's not a market
Yeah.
sector.
At least not a substantial enough one, if even that.
In fact, the most common market segment over there is what we would call like a tub vacuum, where it's like basically it's like a shop vac with an 1.25 inch fitting.
Yeah, where it's like the really old pneumatics, like the really old pneumatic.
Well,
commercial
pneumatics,
machines.
you have Samuels, you have numerous brands that all sell the same machine.
Yeah.
Bissell still sells us a machine that's very similar to what you can buy. In fact, a friend of mine was just telling me that back home that he hated the dump bag in his machine growing up, and that he, yeah.
I should actually buy one of those 120 volt tub machines that Bissell makes, mostly because it's one of those machines that I know for a fact are going to become extremely rare one day, because you never see anyone buying those.
Yeah, no, the only reviews I've even seen of those have been in Spanish, and it's been some La Raza dude. And I've thought about buying one, but the fact that they're like a shake filter, I decided not to. But I've been tempted to buy one a few times for that same reason, because some boob dude in the future will be like, oh my god, what is this?
Yeah, it's once again, it's one of those odd machines that if you don't get it now, you're gonna be wishing you did.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of how I feel about the Zero G. I mean, he might be super successful in the future, but he might not be.
Mhm.
But like, in 10 years, is that machine going to be around? I don't know.
That's how I am with the air rider and the Fakir machines. It's like those are two machines that I recommend them, not just because they're good machines, but because I kind of want them to be around in 10 years. So me shilling for them now is like a recommendation for people. it's one of those double-edged swords that, yeah, they're good, but also buy 2 of them so the manufacturer keeps selling them here.
Okay, so this brings up an interesting question, since we were just talking about rarity of machines and worrying about certain machines being hard to find. Um, if you had to pick one brand that you think is the next one to go under, what would you say? I'm putting my money on Eureka or Dirt Devil.
Well,
No, I don't mean the company. I mean the brand. So like
Eureka's owned by a huge Chinese company. I don't think they're going under any time.
Yeah, once the Chinese buy somebody, you can consider the brand safe.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. That's why I'm not gonna say Recard. That's why I'm not gonna say Tacony, because there's a huge chance that the Chinese are gonna pick them up.
I would say Tacony has a good chance of not being made, and that we might just see Simplicity, because here's what my understanding of the internal linkage of Tacony is. The sewing machine division, Baby Lot, is very profitable. But the vacuum division, because it's been run by idiots for years, is not profitable. And until recently, and they started rebranding machines with Simplicity, they had no profit. So unless they continue to sell utter shit with Simplicity, that are rebrand machines from Alibaba. I mean, there's no reason why Simplicity rebrands the Bissell thing. Unless if that continues to happen, yeah, we're not going to see the word Recard. You know, what's funny is Chris from Vacuum Wars called me, I want to say about 10 months ago, and we were talking about things, and he asked me about the Recard R25, and he said, who is this made for? Why is this even a thing? I said, it's not made for anybody in the modern market. Only a vacuum shop would sell this. No normal person would buy this. This doesn't have any features. And you know,
which model?
It really is.
I don't know, R25.
It's their new machine, and it's like, it doesn't have a swivel neck. It doesn't do anything that, you know, a $200 vacuum doesn't do. There's no reason to buy it, and it's made in China, so like you're not getting the quality either.
Recard R25.
And frankly, you know what? It's built for people. No, you know why the R25 exists?
Boomers?
No, people like me. Because I'll tell you now, if I go out, if say all my collection disappeared one day and was replaced with $800 and I had to go buy a brand new machine, I'd probably go buy one of those. Because the thing is for me,
because you can buy a standard pair Ion or whatever for $200 or $300, depending on what.
No, for me,
that has more features.
For me, it's about the features it doesn't have. It's about no bullshit, you know.
Oh, so just the fundamentals.
Like I said, the Uber Tempo does everything that machine does too. No. There are so many machines that are in that category.
Listen, I would rather cut my testicles off than buy one of those.
Why?
Because it's a recommendation machine.
I mean, you're not going to use this anyways.
It's one of those machines that I recommend to people, but I would never in 100 years use myself.
Oh, the Tempos, you mean?
Yeah, that's one of those machines.
What about a protein? You can get a protein like XP 1500 for half the money an R25 does.
Hell
and
no.
It does more things.
No.
Wait, you just said this. No, this R25 does have a swivel neck, unless the website's wrong. What?
The website is wrong. What it has casters in the rear like a Dirt Devil would have, which gives it the most asinine handling capabilities.
Oh God.
Well, shit. That gives me even more reason to get one. Because I like the old swivel glides.
Well, then go buy a swivel glide for $10.
No.
I never liked that idea.
Here's the thing, Tracy.
Here's the problem with the swivel glides.
No, I want to point this out. You say, oh, well, just go buy one for $10.
I'm being facetious, dude.
I was just saying, you can. My choices are either sit there, wait months for one to show up at a thrift store.
I haven't seen one of those since I was in high school.
Wait,
exactly.
Weren't you the one telling me? Wait, weren't you the one telling me the other day that every machine that I'm struggling to find isn't actually rare? and like, oh, it would definitely pop up.
Yeah,
so aren't you arguing against
those
your
are for
point?
no, those are for that's for a different reason that I'll explain later.
Doesn't matter.
It's not because
they were all thrown away.
no, it's not even that.
It's not. Well,
it's because people are hoarding them.
I don't think people are hoarding swivels.
It's well, no. Here's the thing.
Well, Rhett might be.
If I've learned anything being in this hobby and being in being in console game collecting, there is people hoarding them.
Yeah.
We just don't know them.
If you're in console gaming, question: do you have a ColecoVision?
I'm
still trying to find one.
ColecoVisions, the fucking power supply is so fucking big. It's like
oh god.
Yeah.
Or
it's like a house brick.
Yeah.
It is. It's the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, because here's the thing, because the thing about the ColecoVision is, I mean, because people point out like, oh, well, the first gen 360s have bigger bricks. Yeah, but those are in the middle of the cable. Those aren't what you plug into the wall or into the strip.
No, it said a big enough brick that it could break a plug from the weight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have a special power strip to even like hold, ones that are half the size. Thankfully, I have those types of power strips.
I was gonna say,
or surge protectors.
That reminds me of back in the day, Sega. They used to sell
Sega
a power brick for hooking up your Genesis, your CD, and your 32X.
Yeah.
I've seen those before.
A Sega CD. I'd love to have a Sega CD.
Oh, hey, I know. I don't know if you have any like retro game shops in wherever you are, but I think my friend who owns a local resale shop, last I checked, he did have a CD. If he still has it, I'll get it and I'll send it to you.
Of me, and it closed a few months ago.
Like I have one, but I've never been to one, and I'm you know me, I'm cheap. I'm not gonna pay the prices they want for that thing.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I mean, they're gonna be expensive.
He's video on Nostalgia where he's soldering in watch batteries to Genesis cartridges.
What is it? Whose video?
The YouTuber's called Savage Geeks. He does like car reviews and puts them up on a lift and stuff. He's super smart. But he did a thing on Nostalgia where he was soldering in the Sega Genesis batteries, trying to save his save game data.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, because if you wanted to get into retro game collecting, the best time to get into it was like anywhere from like 99 to like 2010. That was like the peak when everything was dirt cheap and plentiful, and that's when parents were getting rid of all their kids' shit at garage sales for pennies on the dollar. That was the best time to get it, especially right when the crash happened in 08. Like they were giving that shit away.
Dude, nobody had any money in 08, man. Fucking, that was a scary time. You weren't sure
that was just the other problem, is that. But if you did have money, then there you go. Yeah.
In 08, like fucking hard times, like.
Oh, that's so funny. We're literally talking about games, and I just get an email saying that like GameStop like wants to hire me.
Hey, like, GameStop stock is real good right now.
Yeah, it's because the Redditors driving that.
Yeah, it wasn't just Redditors. It was 4chan poking at the Redditors. Let's give credit where credit's due.
Right.
Reddit doesn't do anything until it's been cited by 4chan.
Fair enough. But yeah, okay. Let me get to some chats real quick. Let's see. Because I do. I've just been falling back behind. Let's see. Oh god, I'm really far behind.
I sent you, by the way, with the picture of your head all blown up.
Why is my head blown up? Oh, it's because it's on the TV.
Yeah.
Is that your living? Are you watching me on the TV?
Yeah, I'm watching on my living room TV.
Oh, that's cool. Then how are you? Oh, are you like doing it through your phone or something? The chat?
Yeah.
Dope. Okay.
Yeah. I'm Gundam styling.
Sweet. Yeah, that's the way I usually do it. But just because I usually don't do stuff on computers, just because don't feel like. See, because I used to do like everything on my computer, but I'm at the point now where like now that I have like powerful enough cell phones, I just try to do everything on there. Just so much easier.
I hate doing cell phones, and I think Boondock said the best little bit about cell phones, and it's not real technology if you can't hook it up to a printer. And yeah, I know you can hook a cell phone up to a printer, but
yeah, so it is real technology.
the little bit on Boondocks that I can't say on YouTube is the most accurate recommendation on cell phones.
Yeah, chances are if it's on Boondocks, you probably can't say it on YouTube, or you're gonna get you're gonna get Susaned, or whatever the YouTube equivalent of Zucked is. You're gonna get Susaned. Is that the phrase now?
Yeah, you get Susan. I don't get on that list.
No. See, I'm invincible, but I still try my best to stay on our good side, just in case the bullying excursions fall through. Let's see. A 2020 machine that relies on 2002 technology. Oh yeah, that Musu. Yeah, because the point that I was mentioning earlier about this was that whenever I first got this and unboxed it, some people were pointing out to me that there was a Hoover that was released in the UK that basically has the exact same design as this Musu.
Yeah, so basically you have to remember that Hoover UK and Hoover US are really two separate entities.
Right.
And what they did was they just real quickly rebranded the cheapest thing from China and stuck Hoover's name on it.
Right. And
you think that's bad, Alex? Have you seen what the Australian branch sells?
That's a prison colony that was abandoned by the Queen. I don't really care what happens down there.
Yeah, but like their accents are so nice.
It's terrible, dude. The story with their Australian branch, I don't know what the hell caused them to declare bankruptcy. I don't know if they were owned by the UK branch or something, but they're currently owned by, there's this like dedicated. You know how they're.
This man just opened his Musu in the house. No, go outside.
I just washed it out. There's nothing in here.
Come on.
I just washed it out. There's nothing in here.
You guys know how vac and sew places used to be really big here in the U.S. during like the 70s and 80s?
Yeah, and then around the recession, a bunch of people who were practicing bad business went.
Yeah, well, apparently. Those are a big thing in Australia still, believe it or not, because they're successful and they're apparently successful enough to where there's a chain. They have a chain there called Godfrey's, and that's the only place you can get Hoover stuff there.
I do know about this chain. I've heard it mentioned.
I've heard of it before.
In the machines they sell are the absolute they're not the absolute shit, because obviously we all own Musus, but close to it.
Musu. I like that name, Musu.
Literally, if you to get a Hoover right now in Australia or the shithole I call New Zealand, it's just a fucking.
What? New Zealand is beautiful. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to buy a car, you should buy it in New Zealand because they get all the JDM shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but fuck all that JDM shit. That's not as cool as what us Americans get.
Oh, you're such a heretic, but I understand your multi-layered troll face there.
Listen, I don't have yellow fever to the point where I have to have a Japanese car. Fuck that shit. I'll get a damn Focus and drive that if I need to.
You can get a damn Focus. I'm just saying, like, my Japanese cars have tickled my gina in all the right ways. Can I say gina?
I think Robert's comments about yellow fever was probably more likely to get zucked than your Gina comment.
I was gonna say you should have been. If you think that that's gonna get us demonetized, you should have heard some of the shit we were talking about. Some of the jokes I was making yesterday.
I'd like to reiterate, in case Susan is watching, I'm not responsible for anything these idiots say, unless it is good. If it's good, I'll take credit for it. If it's bad, I take no credit for it. There we go. Now we're good.
But the thing is, like in Australia, they literally sell their Hoover is just a fucking. It's almost like a air sweep. It's a Black and Decker air swivel with the little red Hoover logo silk screened onto the dustbin.
Oh, that's cute.
And that's it. That's all it is. I'm not bullshitting you. I need to show you guys this.
See, I've used those Black & Decker air swivels before, and while they're definitely not like great machines. I don't know what it is. They just have a certain charm to them that I really like. I can't explain it. I still don't recommend that anybody really buy one, but I don't know what it is. They're just adorable to me. I don't know what it is. It's really weird. Probably just because I have such an I just have a lot of nostalgia for
Black & Decker.
still
sell this machine.
Last I checked, they did, and this is like a week ago.
But you got no self-respect there. You're using that.
Well, I don't have it anymore. I sold it specifically because of my self-respect.
See, there.
Oh God!
This is progress. If you were on my psychiatrist couch, I think you'd progress and say, "Oh, your self-worth has really come a long way now."
Yeah, I sold my air civil, so I'm doing a lot better. And I sold that green airspeed too. That Robert has a big problem with. Yeah, and then obviously the red one's still my landlord's. He still has to pick that up, and then the only one I'll have left is the orange one.
Yep, here it is. Here's the fucking one.
Oh, where'd you post it?
This is the shit that they sell in Australia.
Oh god, this is gonna be bad.
Where is it?
It's in general. Look at this shit.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
That really is the Black & Decker crap. Like,
yeah.
Like Rip Hoover?
Oh. It has a turbo brush.
So let's all give thanks for being born in America.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd go on a fucking rampage too if I lived in New Zealand and had to put up with crappy machines like that.
I mean, at the very least, I mean, you could get a machine from the UK and then just get a plug adapter, but I mean that's way too much of a pain in the ass for most people.
Here's the other funny thing. The one machine on there that caught my eye that we don't get here in the US.
What?
This apparently.
Oh god, I gotta click back to it.
I've seen that machine. I've been curious what the hell that thing is.
I don't know what it is either.
It looks like a magnesium knockoff.
I was gonna say,
it's like it's cordless, right?
Yeah, it's a cord. Well, no, it's not a knockoff because TTI probably made that themselves.
No, yeah, because
that's
the same. Yeah, that's the same color scheme.
A cordless.
I mean, this is just Vax engineers. The Vax engineers are the worst.
Yeah, it's literally just a cord. It's literally just a cordless magnesium, and this begs the question now. Why the fuck aren't we getting that here in the U.S.?
Because we get the cordless XL21, which is a wonderful machine for what it is.
Well, this
looks like it came out before that though, because this is the same color scheme as the air cordless, right? Or is it not related?
It has the same battery. It sure does.
Yeah. So this is like an older version of that one power.
Here's the thing, Alex. A cordless XL21. That might sound cool to all the boomers and kids that grew up watching the infomercials, but to
I'm a boomer?
patrician enthusiasts who value design in their good machines would know that a cordless magnesium would sell like gangbusters here in the U.S.
Yeah, I'm not saying it won't sell right. I'm just saying, like...
I would personally daily drive a cordless magnesium.
Well, I still want to get, because I still need to get a battery for my actual air cordless, because, you know, that's the only thing it needs now.
Oh, no, screw that thing.
I mean, do you really need a battery? I have two that are with mine.
I just haven't bothered to buy one yet. It's not like I'm strapped for it. I just don't care enough to get one.
Tracy, here's the thing you need to realize.
I'll trade you a battery for a Sega CD.
No, something you probably don't know is TTI uses the same batteries in all their shit.
Oh, the same internal batteries?
You could probably
just change the shape of the case of the battery.
And in some cases, they don't even do that. They just change the color. So you could probably get like a Milwaukee battery or like a Rigid or even a Ryobi one.
It does look
just
like
use
that. Well, I will say that it is kind of annoying.
There's a garage door that uses that same battery. They had a garage door opener that was like cordless for whatever reason that used that battery.
Are you shitting me? Wait, I'm
not shitting you. You can go find a picture of it.
I think I've seen this before.
Okay, let's go back to the chat real quick while you're doing all that, while you're doing your little
read
research.
some of those chats.
Because I'm falling way too far back behind. I'm just gonna.
They want you to read them. They better be simping for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they are.
Super chat.
At least half of them are. No super chats yet that I've seen.
They're not simping. What's wrong with those? Everybody give him the super chat right now.
You can. I mean, you don't have to simp financially unless you really want to. I mean, I'm not gonna complain.
Oh no, it wasn't an option. You have to simp financially for him.
Oh,
Otherwise,
okay.
you can get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Thumbs up now if you're not donating. Sorry.
I laughed so hard when he took the almighty screwdriver out of the move suit box. Oh god, that screwdriver. We're never gonna get off this vacuum, are we?
What was with the screwdriver? What was that too? It doesn't fit anything on the machine.
No, well here's the thing, because they designed the handle screw to have a slot for that tiny screwdriver, but it's so tiny you can't get enough torque to actually drive it in.
No,
so
it
I
doesn't
see
fit in that screw at all. No.
It does on mine. Is yours broken? Because mine has a little slot for it.
I had a flathead screwdriver that would not fit that. I had a number 0 flathead screwdriver.
No, I mean the one in the box.
Number 4 Phillips screw / the big screw with the number 6 or something.
I will not be proven wrong. Where do I put that damn screwdriver?
Anyways, you just said you couldn't get enough torque. You're going to cut yourself, and you're going to end up going to the emergency room on stream.
Did you not? Did you not see this scar on my hand? Which I don't know if you can even see that. But did you not? Yeah, you're not going to see that on video. But did you not see this? Yeah, right there, that little red mark. Did you? So obviously I wasn't recording when I did this, but I actually, this was really stupid. I was using a knife to cut, and also guess what brand? Take a wild guess and guess what brand caused this laceration on my hand.
I'm gonna let you just say it, and let me tell you a story about a fuller brush.
Okay.
Trip to an emergency room later.
Okay. No. Okay. You'll start guessing while I read more chats. Let's see. Oh God! Don't get those compact vacs. What? Out of all the people, my favorite tech guy streams. Ah, hey, cool.
The Moose's straight suction shot back cordless was decent if you threw out the accessory.
Well, here's the thing, because I know people will, because I know some people will be like, oh well, if you say something, whether it's positive or negative, it's only because you got the machine for free, and I can definitely argue against that, because I got 2 machines for free at the same time. One of them I really like, and one of them I really hate. So obviously it's not like favoritism, because I got one of each of those for free, and they're both in the same price range. Because
we've been ripping on the Musu for about 35 minutes here.
Okay. Oh yeah, saying to the other guy.
So they should not have sent you one. Whoever works at Musu who's sending these things out is not doing them any favors.
No. Well, actually, it kind of makes sense if you think about it, because I am always the person who.
Right there.
What?
There was some actually right there in the chat. You know, like the guy actually, he's like, actually.
Okay. Let me just. I'm just gonna blow through all these and see if there's any that are important that I have to see. Rumors about TriStar, or nothing about TriStar. In the early.
Out of business? What? They're just Electrolux, you would say, but
the only cordless I could see myself using is a Hoover Hush Tone. They made a cordless Hush Tone?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. There's one here on Craigslist for like $150, but it's really far away.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool machine. It's got a 40-volt battery.
A true upright that isn't bagless and can do much more than just carpets, unlike a magnesium in 2021. Wow, I was unaware of that. I thought the only upright style they made was before the One Power was the air cordless. I guess not, or at least like common ones that are not like fringe ones, kind of like how Eureka made like that fringe Boss Super Light cordless all those years ago. I wouldn't really count that.
The Hoover commercial line of actually very good edge.
Oh yeah, I never doubted that. Let's see. Craftsman, if I had a big house, I'd much rather have a central vacuum than anything cordless. That's fair enough.
I agree with that. With the central vacuum.
Okay, the Bissell Power Groom Helix still here? I don't know what that question is. I think there's a cordless magnesium, but don't quote me. For $150, what the hell? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so getting back to the point that I said earlier, because the idea of Musu sending me an upright kind of makes sense, because normally I'm the guy who likes uprights. And here's the thing. I usually try to be like one of the nicest reviewers that I can be, while still being critical and necessary, but I try to be as nice as possible. So if I'm talking shit about your machine, then yeah, something's wrong. I'll just be honest and say that right there. If I can barely think of anything positive about your machine, other than stuff that doesn't matter, like I like the look of it, then yeah, that's a problem. That's a big problem. And so if this thing was $30, maybe, yeah, I can recommend it for $30, brand new.
Yeah.
Like so what Robert got his for, but for $60 or more, no. Just no. And for $150, that's no. You could buy 3 Power Forces for that price, and you get way more mileage out of those machines than this.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think any of us would argue with that, even if you're not a fan of that machine either.
I mean, so it's missing a swivel neck, it's missing a lifetime belt, and those are 2 features.
Oh yeah, for $150, yeah, in that price range, yes. Hello? You were just talking.
Hello? We just cut out.
Yep, Alex just went out. Okay.
I'm right here.
Oh. Oh, okay. I thought well, you were in the middle of saying something.
I'm not always on it.
Who needs correcting, Alex? What happened?
Well, did you like what I posted in general?
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
No.
I just had it sitting on the voice chat.
Because of the voice chat.
Actually.
Listen. That's what happens when you know a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Actually.
What I want to say...
Hey, Backmaster, can you say actually?
Actually.
Amazing.
Well, there actually was a vacuum called Backmaster. I don't know if it's still for sale, but I want to get one of those too, just because of the name.
I want to go back to Power Tools real quick and say, you know something that I like about Ryobi, Alex?
Ryobi.
Because they're the one brand out there that TTI owns that still uses the like old school style.
I'll turn off the video real quick.
Like, have you ever seen?
Oh crap! No! Go back. Where's
have you seen some of the recent stuff Ryobi does? How they have their batteries set up.
I don't pay any attention to what Ryobi does. I would never buy anything, and when I see
you should.
Oh shit! You can see the DM. You need to play the DM.
No.
Play that on stream. Actually.
I don't know if I want to take that risk, but I'll look at it later. Don't worry.
I just want to say, I simp for Ryobi because they're one of those brands that their sole existence is to just piss off all the DeWalt and Milwaukee.
I think their sole existence is Home Depot.
Probably.
No, they sell their stuff in like, I think it's Lowe's and
I was gonna
shit.
say,
no,
isn't their thing
Lowe's?
I haven't been in a Lowe's since I was looking for light bulbs like 4 years ago. I don't
4 years.
like.
I know Ryobi, they still exist in other stores and shit. You can get them on Amazon now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got a chat here.
On Amazon, I mean, I think you can get small children on Amazon if you look hard enough.
Oh, wasn't that like a big
I wouldn't
controversy
do
because
that,
like a
'cause
bunch
that's
of
how you get
websites
the
were
party
selling
bag in
kids
your
marked as
house.
furniture? That was awful.
That was Wayfair. That was like.
Oh yeah.
That was some crazy conspiracy shit. They weren't really doing it, unfortunately. It would have like I was disappointed when it was just a conspiracy.
Wait, so you wanted people to buy furniture and get children?
Well, I mean, it would have been really funny.
Yeah.
And also, like, we bought a whole bunch of Wayfair furniture for our house and got children. So, like, we're gonna get
Oh god.
Alex, if you think that's bad, Alex, you should go look at fucking who makes your iPhones, because a lot
I
of
don't have an
technology.
iPhone.
I have iPhone SE 2020. personally.
A lot of tech that's the
Because I
fucking
Gundam
camera.
style, I don't have an iPhone. Either Gundam style or I go JDM.
I mean,
I
I
don't
want
any of that,
technically
but-
own an iPhone, but like it's not my daily driver because I just have so many
A lot of
phones. So I have a
fucking-
6S and a 4S, but my daily is a Note 9.
A
You know,
lot of-
I just wish Sony could like get on the cell phone game again. Because,
Yeah, what the
I
heck?
really
They used to be
don't.
like same thing with
I want
HTC. They used to be
Sony
like really good, but Sony
HTC was never
always.
good. HTC was always like the crap quality that you were poor. You were
For
poor.
me, I want
HTC.
Sony
No,
That's like-
no,
it's like
Yeah.
buying
Like,
an
the
Hyundai
the
accent
M7
use.
and the M8 were fantastic phones, especially like
Sony
compared
is
to like the
sort of
S4 and
company that I
S5.
want to see acquired.
And I'm a
by
Samsung fanboy, so like that,
somebody
you know, I
else.
can say that.
HTC actually made the only phone with real sapphires display.
Oh yeah, that Sapphire U Ultra, the Sapphire
Uh-huh.
display on an
And why do I
otherwise
need
garbage
Sapphire
phone.
display? Why is that better than my OLED display? Please, said like
No,
me.
he's talking about the material, not the actual screen technology. So it's
No,
like if you
yeah.
drop it, it won't break as easily than glass.
And it scratches at level 9 and 8.
Someone's been watching a lot of Jerry Rig Everything, I can tell. But yes.
Possibly.
If you're gonna talk about the Rockwell scale. Fuck shit. Let's make a cell phone screen out of jade.
Let's make a cell phone screen out of diamonds.
I mean, that's very possible because you know synthetic diamonds are actually not that hard.
Yeah.
Well, synthetic diamonds aren't going to be nearly as strong as actual diamonds, so it'll kind of defeat the purpose.
yeah,
but it'd
they-
still be
they
interesting
can.
nonetheless. They can be, yes, but they're not
I
guaranteed
mean,
to
we
be.
brush them up and we put them on, you know, sandpaper and I put them around a grinding wheel.
Yeah.
They definitely are.
Let's see. Do you know where I can get a base with the wheels for a green Silverglide Platinum? No. I would check eBay, but you're probably not going to find one.
Don't you love those comments? Or like, don't you have this part? No, I had somebody ask me if I had a royal part for a canister. I was like, it's available in fucking 15 years. Why would I have that?
Yeah.
I've had people ask me
Oh my
about-
god, this comment is hilarious. Let's make a cell phone screen out of asbestos to prevent people from holding it too damn close to their face.
I've had people
Oh my.
No,
I've had
if
people
you want
ask
someone to
me
not
if
hold
I've
their
s-
phone too close to their face, just get them a Note 7.
I've had
I
people
mean,
that
ask
would
me
work.
if I've still had
Thank you.
elite parts before.
That would definitely work. The S7.
Not the S7, the Note 7. Although the
I know
S7
what you
Edges
mean.
did blow up too, but those didn't get recalled.
How many of those did Samsung have to recall?
Oh, I have all the figures off the top of my head. So, whenever these Note 7s first came out, they came out on August 19th, 2016, and on September 2nd, they did a full recall. They recalled 2.5 million phones because 35 of the phones had caught fire out of 2.5 million in the States. So then, there were up to like 100 reports of cases, but a lot of those cases were fraudulent and just people trying to get new phones. So,
Wow.
you know, and just like lying and saying their phone blew up.
I'm
But-
scrolling up through chat and I'm seeing somebody's made a comment saying, I hope the devil never goes under because they may bring back the dynamite one day. First of all,
Well, you
they
can still
are,
get
because that machine was only discontinued 4 or 5 years ago.
the Dirt Devil
Sorry to
Dynamite.
burst your bubble on that one.
Yeah.
And third of all, you don't know if that machine is even, if TTI even owns the molds for that machine still. They could have sold that to some no-name Chinese company by now. And it
They
could
would have
be these.
overpaid.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but that tends to happen with this stuff.
Did you going back to game consoles? Did you hear about the Atari Jaguar going under and people selling it to a company that makes dental equipment?
Yes, everyone who's
No, but
been in
I saw the new Atari console that's just basically like a stripped down laptop they made into a PC.
Yeah, that's
I've
not
heard-
even an actual Atari. That's just some stupid Steam machine or like PC that someone made, and obviously it's a complete flop. But or that Coleco
That's fun.
Chameleon, disaster. If anyone remembers that, the Coleco Chameleon, that horrible
No.
scam project that never got off the ground.
The Switch is pretty bad, but that Atari machine is better than the Switch.
Yeah.
I would strongly doubt that. Well,
I'm
actually,
just
I think it did
scrolling
have a
through
rifle,
chat
didn't
looking
it?
at some of the
Hardware-wise,
cards.
it's better. Hardware-wise, it's better.
But practically, it's
Because-
much worse.
Because the
Probably.
Switch was a set-top box that NVIDIA owned that Nintendo just slapped their name on.
Somebody said in chat, the only cordless I could see myself using is Hoover Hush Tone. A true upright that isn't bagless can do much more than carpets, unlike a magnesium in 2021. Here's the thing. Have you known anyone that really has a lot of carpet in their house in 2021? Because I do, and a lot of the people that have carpets in their houses in 2021, their houses weren't designed in the fucking 70s like a lot of people think on YouTube. No one has super thick piled carpeting anymore.
Yeah,
Sure, some people do.
Yeah, there's some for J rugs that some hipsters have, but that's about it.
I mean,
Yeah.
No one has fucking thick piled carpeting anymore. For most people,
yeah.
the reason why I recommend a magnesium or an auric in general to a lot of people is because I know that a lot of people nowadays, they have really small tile carpeting like I do.
They have like rugs.
Yeah.
Well, that too. It's rugs, but also if you're one of those people that has a fully carpeted house, it's not gonna be super thick fucking shag that you could run your fingers through. No, they're gonna have like super thin Berber or something along those lines carpeting.
Yeah.
For most people, that's what I was saying earlier. For most people, a cordless magnesium would sell extremely well. Is because it's because the magnesium by itself sold extremely well for people.
Yeah. I know some members with magnesium.
So if you just add the gimmick on making it cordless and sell it as like the new and improved magnesium 2, you'll get just as many people showing for those on Facebook as you do sharks or any other crap machine you see out advertised on TV.
I do see plenty of works.
The 1 Power Plus is basically a magnesium, though.
No, it's not. That is the 1 Power Plus is a Elevate. That's what that is. It's a cordless Elevate. It's literally a direct rebadge of it.
It's an XL21.
Yeah, they're pretty much all
Yeah,
XL21.
Under the hood, yeah, XL21.
It's an XL21. It's an Oric Gold, maybe. But yeah.
Remember, just went quiet, but yeah. Someone commented the magnesium is a magnificent machine at the right price. Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
I agree with that.
Price.
Yeah, see, because
I agree with that. Those machines, when they were originally introduced, those are being sold at dealer price for $650. They were horrible value.
Oh yeah.
When they brought the prices down to like $250 and such, they became amazing value because.
You know what the worst thing about that is that customers who had Oric XL21s, when they felt the magnesium, they would trade their XL21 in almost instantly. It was candy to a baby. The people who had Orics, when they would try the magnesium, they would be like, "Oh my god!" And then you tell them you don't have to change the belt, they would be like, "Oh my god!" And they'd use their pants, and you see them there pants with their credit card out.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where the magnesium, it's a better machine than a lot of people give it credit for. It's one of those things
it really
where
is, and it's a nice handling. It's not best made, but it is a nice handling machine. It feels like a canister vacuum in your hands.
Yeah, because it's just a power nut with a bag jammed on it.
Works are horrible values new, but are great values used or when they get older, just like Kirby. No. I agree with half that.
Well, look, I mean, if you're comparing a $200 Kirby to a $2,000 Kirby, yeah, but like, I wouldn't recommend a Kirby to begin with, personally.
Well, no, but here's the
you shouldn't pay more than $25 to $50 for a Kirby with all the accessories ever.
Yeah.
You shouldn't even pay more
The
than
maximum price of a Kirby is $50. Maximum.
That's what I've paid under 10 for some with all the accessories.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had given to me for free with all the accessories. That's what they're worth. They're plentiful, and only an idiot buys a Kirby. Also, where is BBBC? I really want to see our white BBC in chat. Come to voice chat. BBC.
Triple BC.
Yeah.
See,
Jesus Christ.
BBBC is funny to me because I remember whenever like some of my other vacuum collector friends would like get pissed at him like a few years ago because he would dare say that Bissell was bad, and everyone would be like, "Dude, start your channel," and I'm like, "Who gives a shit?"
That was a little hobby.
I just heard something from somebody else. So BBC, come join our chat. We don't care what you sound like. Just come join our chat.
Yeah, we're all nerdy
And,
fucks. It's okay.
Mhm.
We're all a bunch of social outcast queers. It's fine. You'll be right at home.
Who the fuck
Yeah.
said I was
I
one?
mean, I'm a social outcast. I just don't
I was
associate
gonna
myself as
say I'm
queer.
social outcast,
Neither do I.
maybe.
I'd like to come out of the closet. I'm super straight.
Oh no! No! Miss me with that bullshit. Miss me with that bullshit right now.
All the memes at once.
Turf alert. Anyways, let's see.
And Tracy is spitting out his soda.
Spit it right in your super straight face. There you go. See how that tastes. Oh, I'm spitting bars right now. Spit it out in your super straight face. See how that tastes.
Alright.
Anyways, this comment: people in love are overrated. I agree.
I don't know. It's your time. I'm happy. Oh my gosh, my wife in the Dodge right now.
Dodge, yeah. Same.
Oh, my nickname couldn't be changed in the server. Fuck.
So you all want to see a Dodge review? We'll have to do a Dodge review.
A Dodger review? Yeah.
Oh my
yeah,
god,
which Dodge
you are
got?
allergic to
Hellcat,
pronouncing
Ram,
anything
Durango?
correctly.
I mean, I spent most of my time in New Mexico. Have you been there? We don't speak English.
Yeah, I mean, it is called New
Overview.
Mexico, so I guess it makes sense. But it's the new one. It's the new and improved Mexico.
It is new and improved with Blake's
This
green
person.
chili.
Ooh.
Someone
Yummy.
says in
I
chat,
like chili.
I'm using a very old Dirt Devil Fruity Spackles and I'm tired of using it. My mom and I are planning to get a new one.
Don't get a Dirt Devil.
I'm so,
Don't.
first of
Yeah,
all, I'm
don't get a
surprised-
Dirt Devil. Get a Hoover Tempo, or tell your mom that she needs to go to the vacuum store and buy a
No.
Simo.
Fuck all
Yeah.
that shit. Here's the thing. First of all, I gotta ask this person, why didn't you get that shit swapped out like 15 years ago?
Okay, well,
Second of
I will
all-
admit, as someone who owns the Breeze, I can say it is one of those machines that I used to hate, but after I've used it more, I can appreciate it for what it is.
That's just because most secrets are broken.
I've had a
And when-
Breeze I didn't get it for that much money, and I ended up giving it to a family member.
Yeah.
I've only had a Breeze, like, for 5 minutes on a workbench for a customer to tell me they didn't want to fix that shit. And,
What did they bring
That's
it in
fine.
for? Was it just like a belt or like a bad motor? Or do you even know? I'm assuming you turned it on,
so,
right?
The problem is the cyclones come, like, the little cyclone thing comes out with a half twist of the Breeze, and they will lose one of them, but not the other one, and that causes problems.
Yeah.
What are you
And
talking
I've seen
about?
that like 5 or 6 times, and they've all been like, "No, I don't want to fix it." Oh, wait, you have another, and you just like ready to get rid of it.
Wait, what are you talking? What part are you talking about? Are we thinking about the same machine?
If we're
Oh,
talking
he's
about-
talking about the twin chamber version.
That's not a Breeze.
It had the word Breeze on it.
A Dirt Devil Breeze? Oh, well, that's the annoying thing is that Dirt Devil called like 17 different vacuums the Breeze,
That's true.
and the
Oh.
Featherlight. Featherlight's worse at that.
Oh yeah, the Featherlight, and then the Jaguar. They really like the word Jaguar.
I kind of like that name. Well, see, the Jaguar was like at least the one that I'm referring to was like it was like the Breeze, but it had like it actually had a proper height adjustment on it and a longer cord. But that's the
It's
only
all
difference.
disposable crap. We've spent
Yeah.
more time talking about disposable crap than we have. By the way, Tracy, have you fixed your Electrolux Super J yet?
Oh, are you talking about the one that you thought was not working because of the bag?
I just asked if the bag sensor. Yeah, the bag sensor.
It
was
wasn't the
tripped.
bag sensor because there's a brand new bag in it, and it's still it looked like it was installed correctly, and I haven't done much else. I just kind of dicked with it for like 2 minutes and said
I
I'll
mean,
work on it
if
a
you'll-
different day.
if you want to get rid of it, and you want to just throw it in the mail.
Well, there's a couple collectors who like that.
Are you saying that you want both of those Electroluxes that I'm probably gonna get rid of?
I don't know about the second one, but I'm saying that Super J. If you want to throw it in the mail, I'd gladly pay the shipping to get it over here.
I mean, if you're gonna take that one, I might as well just throw the other one in the box too, unless like it ends up being too heavy.
I mean, I hate to admit this, but my Patreon supporters know that I had a box that had two vacuums, one box, not to be confused with two girls, one cup.
Notice how my facial expression didn't change.
My wife is very upset looking. She's looking at me and judging me.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Because that's the correct response. Let me just grab the damn thing since you'll know what I'm talking about and you can accurately judge me.
Uh-oh. Please don't tease me with Electroluxes.
I actually really love Electroluxes. I've had a couple of them, but don't have them currently.
Does anybody not have one?
Not currently.
I mean, I kind of decided I was going to complete the Electrolux poster at some time. So that's been we have a dog in the background. Yeah, I see a dog in the background.
Oh, that's
next to Mountain Dew. Yeah.
Ruby, come over here. Alex wants to say hi.
What is that monstrosity? No, why is that even still around? Put that in the dumpster.
Are you talking about? Hey, she's a good girl.
No, not the dog. The dirt devil. The dog. The dirt devil belongs in the dumpster. And Tracy, did you wash that filter? Those filters are super cheap.
No, I didn't wash it. I just vacuumed it off because I didn't feel like I haven't bought a new filter for it yet.
It's like yellowish and like.
Yeah, it looks pretty grody.
I grabbed an Electrolux and he came with the dirt devil.
Even the dirt devil breeze I had, I brought new filters for it.
Yeah, I'm going to. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And this filter still works fine. It still has good suction airflow, so I don't really give a shit.
It's not even the real one. It's a fake one.
I have a genuine one too, but it's in worse condition. But if I do get one, I'll probably get a genuine one.
In existence, that thing should have been like thrown out years ago. I'm just like.
Well, it was. That's how I got it. I mean, you just answered your own question. Most of the machines I get are ones that are thrown away.
Yeah.
My only response to this is, not much else you can say.
I like that response. That is wonderful. I like that response.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, here's the thing. My house, because they say that safe spaces are bad. My house is a safe space for shit machines, okay? I know this thing is a piece of shit. And I know it's a trash pick piece of shit, but look at it's all pretty now, like it's all clean minus that filter, but it's like it's got all the attachments, new filter.
If you want to give it the second chance, like you were given as a very small child, as a preemie, you need to give it a new filter.
Yeah.
I'm going to. I will. Okay. I will get him a new filter. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Okay. It's not a priority because I'm not using it, and this one does still work in the meantime. It just doesn't look pretty. But it's good enough.
That filter is.
It has plenty of airflow that still goes through it.
But the color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're beating a dead horse. We get it.
Yeah, like the premise, but the filter's kind of off color.
It is. Yes. But, I mean, the one thing I'll give those filters credit for is even though they look ugly, it takes a lot to actually block them up.
Well, you can fill the bed all the way to the top, clogging it, and it'll still have some airflow.
Exactly.
I've never done that. Like, so this is the sort of machine that would come on the bench and you slap a filter and a belt on it and next.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the whole point, is that's all it ever needs. Unless some idiot chops the cord off or some shit, which happened with my other one. I have another one that's branded as a Featherlight. Actually, I still have two of these. But
cutting the cords and getting the money for that.
Yeah.
What?
Or somebody removing the filter and not realizing.
Yeah.
Bad motor.
Do people actually get, like, any like good amount of money for scrapping cords because it just seems stupid to me. But I never actually done it.
I mean, if you have a contractor bag full of cords, it's worth about $100.
Really?
Yeah. So like at vacuum shops, we get machines like this in trade-ins, and we call them cord cutters because we cut the cord, throw the machine in the dumpster, and then at the end of the month, you have
Even
a
if it
couple of
runs?
trash bags full of cords, and you get a couple $100 back.
Oh, I see. Because cutting the cord would be easier than having to actually sell the machine, and you'd probably end up making more in the long run.
Well, you don't sell used machines at a vacuum shop. That market dried up a long time ago. It's rare that you have any used vacuums, even if you hustle them like a Craigslist and have a Kirby or something. You're just not going to sell a used machine at a vacuum store. That prospect is long gone.
I thought the idea was that you sold used and new, so there were more options, but you obviously primarily focused on new.
The idea of a vacuum store is somebody brings in a broken vacuum that's not worth fixing, which is 50% of the time, and then you sell them a new machine.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
That's the business model, though. Used machines are long gone, and thanks to the internet, used market is mostly dominated by like Facebook and Craigslist and eBay.
Yeah.
I guarantee that.
Yeah,
And a lot
that
of
makes
people hoping for DC-33s, Dyson DC-33s and stuff.
That's funny. I had a Dyson DC-33 that the second one I got where the motor went out on them, and someone just paid $39 for it.
Why?
I don't understand. Some people.
Hey, I mean, I said in the description, I said the motor doesn't run, and I don't want to fuck with it. So if you want this for parts or whatever, because all the other parts are good on it, other than the clutch, obviously. So I was like, take it. I don't want to fuck with it. Get it out of my house, or it's going in the dumpster.
Also, Ola.
What?
Hola, compact. ¿Cómo estás?
Oh, I didn't even see him. Oh, he just slithered right in here. Let's see.
He just slithered right in here as a good word.
Yeah. Let's see.
Let's not hear my Spanish because it's horrible.
No, I'm not even gonna try.
I actually recently purchased off Amazon a Wesselworks EBK 360.
Oh, those are nice. I like
He's just like, oh yeah, that's cool. He's just so depressed.
Yeah.
So
it kind of takes some gut to impress me.
oh, nice legs.
Sorry, I pressed the wrong button there. Discord is kind of lagging right now.
I thought it was just me. Oh.
Yeah.
Let's see. The only Dyson that I like is my DC-25. That's from someone in the chat. Followed up with cool story, bro.
Cool story, bro. There's
Yeah.
the appropriate response. And I see Robert
Machines
does.
are junk.
Let's see.
Hey, I just noticed that your picture is a Tesla. I never knew what it was. I always thought it was a Mustang. It's a Tesla. That's
Yeah.
Darth Gamer says, "Why am I the only one active in chat? Probably because everyone else is probably past their
Darth
bedtime."
Gamer is epic. He leaves comments and stuff. So shout out to Darth Gamer. But
yeah,
this chat's kind of over. I mean, it's kind of late.
Yeah.
Don't leave me.
I am gonna leave you here soon because I'm gonna go to bed and cuddle my wife and be with the Dodge and stuff.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing.
Yeah.
With mine, not yours, obviously.
I that was a given. I don't know why we had to clarify that.
Anyways, so let's see. Someone else just popped in. I was never a fan of the DC-17 Dyson. And then another comment, Tesla would be the Apple, in parentheses, Dyson of vacuums. What?
I personally, though, do not like electric cars. I just use it as my, what is it?
Profile picture? Why wouldn't you use a car that you
Yeah.
like? Wouldn't that make more sense?
Anyways, I'm gonna go, folks. Y'all have a good night and be nicely,
Alright.
kid.
You too.
Thank you, Intellitet Studios, for doing this live chat tonight. And hopefully we can all do another live stream soon.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So would you suggest that the next one be earlier in like the day, probably like mid to late afternoon instead?
I think you should do for like Central Time. You go for like 3 p.m., 2 p.m. like that.
Okay, because I mean, if I can get like as many people, here, because I'm trying to go around everyone else's schedules. What?
And see when people watch the most. Look at your analytics, and whenever people watch the most is when you should do it.
Right. Well, I wasn't saying for that because I know that is the best time as far as viewers. I meant in terms of people in this server being, actually like free to do this.
Well, you have however many thousand subscribers, and we only have like 150, 200 people in the server. So I would say that would take the priority.
Well, yeah, I know. I've just gotten so used to like just talking to the chat and doing that, but I like it better when there's other people in the chat too because it feels more involved.
Really cool format. We should let's pull around. Let's ask people's opinion and go from there.
I just came back from updating Windows. What was I talking about?
Puffing Windows? What?
I've been getting cucked by Windows.
Updating Windows.
That's what Windows does. It cucks.
I was updating Windows. I was being fucked by Windows, if you want to say that.
Windows likes to update all the time.
By Microsoft.
See, that's why you use Windows 7. They don't give you updates anymore, so it doesn't bother you.
The only reason why I even did the fucking feature update for Windows is because I got the message earlier saying, hey, we're gonna stop supporting your version of Windows 10 here soon.
Oh, I never give a shit about that. My main desktop is still on like a 2017 or 2018 build. Oh, it's 2018 build of Windows 10.
Well, everybody tried to hack Intellitek Studios right now. DOS
time.
DDoS time, yeah.
If I get hacked, you're not getting that Electrolux. You know that, right?
Oh, so there's a program you can download called Low Orbit or Ion Cannon. I highly recommend it. I give it like a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, if I was going to test out any software that you suggested to me, I would obviously put it in a virtual machine first.
No, I recommend everybody else test out that software, but you.
Remember that advice given by anyone other than me is not endorsed by Intellitek Studios or its owner.
And I don't recommend you actually download that software because that's like a way to get party banned. And nobody likes the party band.
Did you just call this shit Low Orbit Ion Cannon?
I mean that is the name of the software. I didn't make it up, but it does exist.
What the fuck? Fucking Low Orbit Ion Cannon.
I mean, you can go download that right now.
No, thank you.
No.
No feds are coming to this place. I would rather not attract the wrong kind of attention.
No.
I highly recommend a proxy condom with a VPN. You do that.
Well, you say that, but most VPNs sell out to the fucking government anyway.
I recommend proxy condom with a VPN. Did you just use a Dirt Devil dusting brush on the can?
Yes, he did.
I'm insulted. I am insulted by good sir. But anyway, everybody should simp to Intellitek Studios and subscribe if you're not subscribed, and turn on the notification bells for this man.
Oh, and also, I'm going to cut you off. Everyone, also simp, donate, subscribe, join Performance Reviews' channel. I don't know if you have a join thing on, but subscribe, hit the bell, donate to his Patreon, or not donate, the Patreon thingy, do it, give him your money, whatever the phrase is. And whenever I open my Patreon, do the same thing, but slightly less, because he deserves more money than I do. So, anyways, simp for everybody. And wear your seatbelt, eat your vegetables, and
wow, fucking, this is the fastest.
I just short-circuited, sorry.
This is the fastest stream I've ever seen. Less than an hour and a half.
Well, again, thank you to Intellitek Studios for hosting this, and you all have a lovely night.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Have a nice night.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, that was the fastest fucking stream I've ever seen, Tracy.
Who said I was gonna stop streaming? Just because you guys are bailing doesn't mean I have to bail.
Okay, I was gonna. Well, no, I was gonna say.
I'm not bailing. I'm just.
Was fucking.
Yeah, I mean,
was
Alex
that
had
just
important shit to
out?
do, so he was heading out. We were doing our little conclusions.
Let me just
there.
go
Nothing
back
wrong
through
with
the
that.
stream, listen to all the shit talking. I'm just fucking around.
About Musu, yeah. About this little dude. By the way, do you see, like, you can tell how much I've used this. Can you see, like, the massive layer of dust that's on the front of this thing? There's more dust on it than there is in it because I literally, like, washed it out and cleaned up the whole thing again after I used it, and I haven't touched it since, so now it's the outside that's dusty and not the inside. Inside sparkly clean.
How did you like the Musu?
Well, I didn't. And I don't. Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna give like a little bit of a spoiler as far as the review, but I'm still doing the full review on it, especially since Alex didn't do his all the way, which is understandable. But I'm gonna do it all the way. So, to start off, here the things that I like about it. I like the way it looks. I know that's subjective, but personally, sue me. I like the way it looks. The other thing is, I like the suction. It has a really good amount of suction. And even though a lot of people, including Alex, have said that, oh, this actually has god-awful suction whenever it fills up. I don't know if it's just whatever. Maybe it's the fact that it doesn't pick up a whole ton. But even when I overfill this thing beyond the max line, like up to this notch, it still has plenty of suction. And I didn't notice any discernible difference in the actual suction or performance. So I don't know why that discrepancy is there. But if anything, that's probably a sign that these aren't all that consistent, which is not that great. But for me, I mean, I haven't had any issues as far as this thing losing performance over time, or at least losing suction. But
that could also be due to the dryness of the climate and also the air. How much air is there between how high above sea level you are?
Yeah, I'm in Illinois, so I'm not above sea level or whatever the phraseology is. So the point is, I'm in a different climate than Alex is, so that very well could be affecting his machine and having it perform worse. I'm not saying
and I'm in Iowa, so that really is not a problem for me either.
Yeah, because you're not that far away from me, but he's obviously on the other side of the country. So and I just burped. So, and one thing I will say is that I've only washed out this filter once. And, I mean, this screen on the filter is actually kind of nice because it actually does do a decent job at keeping a lot of stuff actually getting stuck in the filter, at least, again, based off of the one time that I've washed it. And I've only filled up this bin, like, maybe 3 or 4 times. So it hasn't been a lot of extended usage. So obviously I can't comment on long-term longevity of this machine. I will say that I do actually, looking at it closer, I do see a little bit of dust in the seams of the filter. So, but this little mesh is doing a good job at keeping big stuff off the filter. Although I will say that stuff like in the seams right here will get caught on either side of this, like where the actual cage meets the main filter itself. And another big complaint that I had, which Alex said that he managed to actually find a pack of filters, which would address my issue, at least for now, on actually finding filters for this machine. But the biggest problem is just you can't easily find parts. And because it doesn't matter how good a machine is, and don't twist my words, that I don't think this is a good machine, but even if I did think this was a good machine that would be worth recommendation, the fact that you can't find parts for it is ridiculous because this is the same price as the Shark Navigator Liftaway NV352. Can you stop? And this...
The Shark would actually be cheaper on 100 versus 160.
Right. If you're talking about the Walmart version, that's actually cheaper. And even despite the fact that Shark is notoriously known for having a lack of available parts, the fact that that machine has been on the market for so long and that you can find any part for it, like if you just search online, that is an advantage over this machine. It's still not, all that impressive because you should be able to find parts for any machine anywhere. But that's the fact that this is getting beat out by a shark in terms of the ability to find replacement parts is really bad, because
Yes.
you know, the actual durability of this machine is not yet established, so we can only assume that it's going to potentially break over time, because there's no record of it yet. And if you can't get any of the parts that you would need, then the moment something goes bad that isn't a filter or possibly a belt, if that, then you're gonna have a paperweight on your hands, and that's not good. Because
that'd be a whole machine replacement versus a simple part.
exactly, and if you had to pick a machine to fully replace, I would gladly replace that $100 Shark then, or even a $100 Bissell, like what Alex mentioned, because I have used that $100 Bissell as well. And that $100 Bissell is actually one of the worst Bissells that you can get in that price range. The cheaper Bissells that are like $80 and $90 are actually better and designed much better, which is kind of crazy considering they're cheaper, but that's my biggest thing. There's that. There's the fact that it doesn't perform very well on hard floors, or the fact that it doesn't perform all that well on carpets. This thing is definitely out-cleaned by the Bissell that I previously mentioned. And I believe it's also out-cleaned by the Shark as well, but I don't remember. It's been a while since I've used this, so I'll have to try that again before I do the full review. But I would doubt that this thing even outperforms that Shark. And
Me too.
What?
Sure. A lot of people don't give Shark credit. They do clean well for their price range.
It depends on which models you're comparing, because if you get the cheapest possible Sharks and you're comparing them to the cheapest possible machines in that same price range, they do hold their own, especially on hard floors. But on carpets, like, you know, that Bissell that I previously mentioned, or that Hoover Tempo, will drastically out-clean the Shark. At least to enough of a degree that you can say that they do clean better, even if it's not necessarily like a day and night difference. It might be for that Hoover. I can't really say because I haven't tried it, but definitely for the Bissells, they do clean better than those Sharks, and as a result, better than this. And so I just, with all that combined, and also the fact that this thing is entirely worthless when it comes to hard floors, and which wouldn't be a problem because I've recommended plenty of Bissells that don't have brush roll shutoffs because of the fact that, well, you can just get a hard floor attachment. And while Bissell doesn't have as much of a standard fitting as Shark, or as Hoover, I mean, you can still use a lot of standard attachments that are designed for like Kenmore's or Panasonic's, because much like Bissell, those have it to where the attachments fit in the reverse direction.
Well, Bissell uses 35 millimeter versus 32 millimeter reverse.
Right, yeah, that's what I mean. Whereas this uses an entirely substandard fitting, which makes no sense considering that it's clearly a rebranded machine, and I don't understand why they would use a custom fitting. These attachments do not fit. While these attachments, I will admit, this extension wand and this crevice tool are better than the Bissells that I had previously mentioned. Like these are relatively sturdy, especially this crevice tool is a nice good length for but again, you're comparing that to a $100 machine. And then if you're talking about the Shark, not the $99 one, but the $150 one that's the same price as this, in the case of that, the wand's going to be better because it's going to be metal and built into the machine, and the crevice tool is going to be much longer, and the dusting brush would also be a lot better because this dusting brush is one of those ones where you have the bristles that slide off, which it is a nice feature that you can remove those bristles, but the fact that these bristles are way too hard to do any actual dusting. These are very stiff, they're very coarse, they're not that great, and also they bend and hold their shape not really as well as they should. So this is not a dust.
Isaac or Roger, he did a video of the Hoover version of the Musu.
Right.
I think Musu bought it from TTI. That design.
Right. But this dusting brush, like they call it a dusting brush, this is not a dusting brush. This is an upholstery brush. So there's no actual dusting brush for this machine. And while I will admit that in that aforementioned Shark, the dusting brush is too short, the actual bristles, the brush itself is pretty okay. Now, the one thing I will say about that Tempo that really annoys me is that Hoover has a better quality dusting brush they include with the $100 Elite Rewind Plus, and that dusting brush is very soft. It's a very excellent, good quality dusting brush, but because that T Series tempo is based off of the last gen Elite Rewind and T Series that have that different type of brush that's not as good. They kept that brush, even though they could easily retrofit the new brush with that machine and include it. They refused. Can you stop, please? Can you? But yeah, so that brush is not nearly as good as the one with the newer style Hoovers, but even the one that does come with the tempo is still much better than this and much better than the Shark dusting brush. So even though it's still not quite soft enough for me to really consider it a dusting brush, this is not a dusting brush. This is an upholstery brush. This is way too hard to be a dusting brush. And maybe it's the kind of thing where the bristles will wear down over time and get to be softer, but it should be the best quality out of the box. You shouldn't have to use it in a diminished state for it to become a dusting brush over time. This should be something that's good out of the box. And another thing that's weird out of the box with this machine is the fact that the cord doesn't have an actual cord clip, which is kind of funny because we were just talking about Hoover and like Eureka and stuff like that, and even Bissell, and they've helped fix this issue recently, but a lot of older versions of those machines that still have cord rewinds would actually have molded clips on them, like as if they didn't have rewinds. But recently,
I've seen that.
But recently they fixed that too, and but this one has the opposite problem, because I would rather have a clip on a cord that didn't need it than no clip on a cord that needed it, because that clip, while it's unnecessary on a rewind, it doesn't necessarily get in the way. Whereas this, you have to actually tuck it behind another segment of the cord, and that's obviously, it's fine. Like, that's not like a deal-breaking issue, but it's just one of those little simple, stupid things that I don't understand why they overlooked it. And I don't know if it's because they just bought another design and ran with it, or whatever issue is, but I don't really care what the reason is. It's still not a good, it's not really not a good excuse. It does have a cord clip up here, which is nice. I mean, that's not saying much, but that is still nice that it does include it. And this hose actually is a decent size, nice long hose for the price, compared to a lot of the Bissells and Hoovers that we were just mentioning previously. It actually is it actually feels like a good quality hose. It feels kind of similar to the Shark, or I shouldn't say good quality, but it's a good length, because obviously the quality is not exactly, it doesn't really have a reputation. It does feel like a lot of the Shark hoses on the aforementioned Navigators, which the one thing that's really annoying about, or I should say the main thing that's really annoying about those Sharks, is that these hoses are very poor quality, and these hoses will split very, very quickly, which is obviously a bad thing, because if your hose splits, where are you going to find one for this machine? Now, I don't know if it's going to split, but again, that's another thing where this doesn't really inspire the most confidence. I do like the way it feels, but I don't know if this is going to last a long time. And so while the hose does feel like it's good quality, and it does have a good length to it, if you can't attach your own attachments to the end of it anyways, what's the point? Because if you lose any of the attachments that you even have with it, how are you going to get replacements? Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know how the long-term investment, because when you're getting into the $150 range, you are talking, when you are starting to, want a machine that you're going to want to have some sort of investment in, and you want it to last a long time. Now, I would argue that any machine, you want it to last a long time, but at the very least, if you get a $50 machine and it breaks, it's kind of like, oh, that's what's expected. Even though I don't necessarily agree with that, but I understand that a lot of other technicians and collectors are like that. But once you get to this price range, the $150 price range, undeniably, you need something that's going to last. And
yes, 5 years.
Yeah, this is not going to last. Well, here's the thing. I can't say for sure, because obviously there is no record on this thing, but we don't know if it's going to last 5 years. And, even if all the plastic parts and everything are good, and, none of the hoses don't split, and everything is still working as it should out of the box, what happens when you need a belt? What happens when you need a brush roll? What happens when you lose the attachments? What happens when you need one of those filters? And, well, first off, I looked for these filters up and down. I did not find one anywhere. I can't believe Alex found a 10-pack of filters. And Alex, since you're still in the chat, send me a link to those filters, because I could not find them.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
I could not find them anywhere, because, so that way if someone already bought one of these, or if they decide to buy one anyways, they can at least get filters. But, and since this originally was a Hoover, I'm wondering if, like, a standard Hoover, like, 033 belt, I believe that's what it's called, would fit this machine. I haven't tried that yet, but maybe at some point I'll open this up and try to throw one of those belts on and see if that works before I do the full review. Because if you can get one of those belts and that'll fit it, and you can buy the filters, then at least you have the main replenishments down. But I don't necessarily think that's enough. I think that, you know, and again, if the brush roller can be swapped out for another roller, then that would be good, and that would at least help address that problem. But I'm not really holding my breath. And if it'd be kind of funny, because if you can replace the roller with something more common, then I probably will do that and put a new roller in here and see how much that makes a difference, because this thing has good suction. And I think that part of the reason why it performs so poorly is because the actual, what was I just talking about? The actual brush roller isn't that great. It has very soft bristles. It's kind of set up like a Dyson. It's got kind of like a helix style. And unlike a Dyson, the bristles are, you know, they're not as spaced out as they are on a Dyson. I don't know if you can even see that, but these bristles are very soft, and they're not really all that dense. They're really thin bristles, and there's just, you know, of course, a standard 2 rows of them, and they don't stick out hardly at all from the actual base of the vacuum, which is another thing that, you know, they stick out a little bit, but it's not all that much. And to be fair, there are other vacuums that are like that too. And I will say that on my particular living room style of carpet, and of course, you know, obviously lower piles too, it does sound like it's agitating well, but that's not, you know, it doesn't sound like it's, you know, doing all that much. And I don't think it's really cleaning enough as it should. And again, I need to do a little bit more testing with this before I do the full review, because I want to make sure that I have everything correct, and that I'm not accidentally, that there's not some factor that I'm not accounting for that's making it perform poorly before I do a full review. But, you know, I'm not holding my breath for this thing. And another thing is that it's obviously not a sealed system, which if this is a 2002 design, then that makes perfect sense as to why it's not. But I mean, in theory, you could throw some more. You could throw some more seals on this thing and at least make it closer to a sealed system.
Yes,
but
that would be good.
And they didn't do that. So, and also this post motor filter, while it's better than having nothing, it doesn't even like fit in there properly. There's a little section where you can clearly see through to the exhaust. So obviously that's some carbon dust that's blowing right through the bottom of this, completely unfiltered. I will say that, you know, so far there's no dust in the motor compartment that I can see. So from the little bit of usage that I've had, there's not so much carbon dust, but that would be really concerning if there was, since this machine is so new. But that's just another little note, I guess. That probably wasn't even actually important information, but just something I'd say nonetheless. And also, this doesn't really like to click in properly. You just gotta kind of slam it, and half the time it doesn't even line up properly. It's really weird. This height adjustment is really bizarre, because it doesn't go like from the lowest to the highest pile. It goes all over the place. Like, I'll read the numbers. It goes from 5, it goes 5, 3, 1, 2, 4. Why, I don't know. Like, that seems like it'd be much more complicated than just doing a normal height adjustment.
Yes, it is.
It does kind of confuse you at first. And so yeah, that is kind of annoying. I do like the way it looks. I do like the color scheme. I do like the design of it. It doesn't feel like the most premium thing in the world, but that doesn't really bother me too much, because I know that obviously if you, you know, for a machine that's basic like this, while having it be made out of thinner and cheaper materials does mean it's potentially more likely to break if you throw it out a window. It does mean that it's more lightweight while you are using it. So there is a trade-off there. I know some would be like, it's built poorly, and it's like, that's not too much of a big deal to me. If there actually are reports of these things falling apart, then that is something to note, and that would obviously prove that the trade-off went too much in the direction of lightness. But it honestly, it could be worse. But again, I'm saying it could be worse in like the $60 to $80 price range, not $150. At $150, it does still feel okay when you compare it to that Hoover Tempo, or when you compare it to that or maybe I shouldn't say the Tempo, but like the other T series machines I have that are basically the same blueprint as the Tempos. And I mean the newer Tempos, not the older Tempos. The older Tempos are built much better than this is. But, you know, even something like the Bissell Powerlifter backed pet, like this is in the same ballpark, but I think that those are generally built better than this. Did I just say the opposite? I didn't mean that. This is a little bit worse than those. And I would say the Shark as well seems to have better build quality than this, the Navigator Liftaway. And I just really don't. Because here's the thing, if this was $30, or if you could find this on a deal, then I could say maybe you could deal with all those trade-offs if you just need something right now. And because I do think that I do like this better than like the entry-level Bissell Power Force Helix, just because the hose is better on it, the attachments are better and all that. But again, that's talking about an immediate purchase. As far as long-term, which one would you rather have? Obviously the Bissell's going to be supported for a lot longer, and it's going to be a better decision. And when you spend, you know, $80 on like a, you know, like what I got, which is the Bissell Power Force Turbo Rewind Pet, that machine has that one has the same cord length. It's basically half the price, and it also has a cord rewind. It has about as good of a hose, and everything else is an upgrade. You know, the build quality is an upgrade. Filtration is about the same, but there's nothing that's actually a downgrade from that machine. And that is frustrating because that's half the price as this. When you're talking about the Powerlifter Bag Pet and the Hoover Tempo T Series, those in this price range are going to be much better options than this. And again, if Musu wanted my advice on actually making this better and making this a machine I would recommend, then I would say change the hose fitting so it's a proper standard fitting. And then, you know, make sure that you have adapters available for people who have older versions of this machine. It sucks, but that's just what you're going to have to do if you want to revive this machine. Make this cord protector a lot stronger. This cord protector is really finicky and doesn't feel like it's actually protecting anything. So fix that cord protector. Add the stupid clip on the cord like they're supposed to. Make this dusting brush softer like it's supposed to be. Actually start supplying filters, belts, brush rolls, all the replenishment stuff, as well as, you know, other available parts like dust cups and bases on your actual website, so customers can go to your website and actually get those parts if they need it. What else? Put a better brush roll in this thing. If you're not going to have a brush roll shut off, which obviously you're probably not going to, at least add a squeegee. That's a bare minimum. Add a squeegee to this bottom thing, and maybe it won't scatter as much on hard floors. Again, that's not really going to save it, but that will at least show a step in the right direction. If they can do all of those things and also bring the price down to like $100, then it's at the point where it's like, look, it's still not the best option, but you could make it work. And I know some people would you know, burn me at the stake for even suggesting that, but I mean, that's a tall order. And if you do all of those things and lower the price, then considering the fact that that's only the ballpark when you start to understand it, or when you start to potentially consider it as a possible option, and I still wouldn't, because Musu doesn't have the infrastructure necessary at this point to actually establish itself as a trustworthy brand.
No.
And to be fair, Honiture doesn't either, because I know I got the Honiture as well. Honiture is not in that position either, but Honiture actually seems to be doing some stuff because they're providing parts on their website, they're providing batteries, they seem like, you know, all their stuff comes apart very easily, and that actually performs well for the price. So, like, that's, you know, it's not me playing favoritism. Obviously, I haven't heard of either of these brands before, you know, 6 months ago, but that's just kind of how it is. is that, you know, there is potential to be a startup brand and still make a good product that's worthy of recommendation, hence the Honiture. This Musu just has not proved itself. It just has not proved itself. And I don't think that at this point any amount of reasonable discounts that Musu could actually make on this machine would make it worth it, unless you just honestly don't care about any of those things that I mentioned. If you don't care about finding parts, if you want to spend $150 on a machine that looks like this exactly, if you happen to fit all of those parameters, then sure, buy one. But if you're anybody else, get something else. That's my thoughts on that. If you're anybody else, get a Powerlifter bag pet, get a Shark Navigator lift away. If you're dead set on bagless, that's going to be better than this thing. Or get the Hoover T-Series wind tunnel, which again, that's the only one out of those three that I haven't tried myself, but I've tried all of the other Hoovers that are the exact same design as it, and I don't have any doubts that it wouldn't function at least as good, if not better, than those machines. So and eventually I will get one of those and test it out as well. I just haven't haven't actually done that yet, because I have other machines on my radar first as far as new stuff to get. Unless Hoover wants to send me one. Hoover, if you want to send me one, I'll send for you guys in that machine. So Hoover, if you're watching this, send me one of those tempos, and I will gladly review one. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the old wind tunnels, so I'd gladly check out one of those. Also, what is this on the front? It says 13 stair cleaning. Like, so
stairs.
If you have, so look, that's another thing. If you have 13 stairs, this is a great option. If you have 12 stairs, if you have 14 stairs, sorry, you have to get something else.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I mean, look. I mean, I will say that click mechanism, that sounds great. I like that. That sounds nice. And also, I will say that having the power switch on the opposite pedal as the handle release is kind of clever. I kind of like that. I don't know how durable it is. It seems like a really stupid idea to have the power switch right in the base that swivels a lot, and I'm sure that's a recipe for disaster, but, you know, so far it hasn't broke yet, and in the meantime, it's kind of cute, and I like that. But realistically speaking, that's probably not a good choice. You probably should have a power switch somewhere on the body, on the actual machine itself, not on the base that moves around, or in this price range, you should be able to put one on the handle.
Yes. And for repair, having the switch on the base, it makes it harder.
Yeah, I can't imagine. At some point, I probably should just rip this thing apart, because it's free anyway, so it's not like it's going to be a big deal. But at some point, I will probably tear this machine apart and see, you know, what can be done about it.
Yeah, I'm surprised some marketing departments, they just will send anything to anybody.
No.
Bad or...
Well, and here's the thing. I have 100% respect for Musu for sending these machines out, because they knew full well what they made. And look, I mentioned the things that I did like about this machine, so I'm not just trying to shit on them just for the sake of shitting on them. But and again, look, no review of this machine that I've ever seen has said here's what's wrong with it and here's what needs to be fixed. I've only heard reviews say this thing sucks, don't buy it, and then like nothing else other than it doesn't perform well, which yes, obviously is the main point. But you know, they could say like here's what you need to do, because also, like, again, if you're constructive about your criticism, then in theory the company should be very respectful of that, because you're actually being honest about what they can do to fix the product. And, you know, hopefully if you do that, then not only are you gaining trust with the company, at least hopefully, you're also gaining trust with the customer, because you're not coming off as biased. You're not just saying, oh, this thing sucks. You're saying that here's what is wrong with it. Here's what needs to be fixed. Here's what they need to do to win over customers. And I think that's an important thing. And I literally just knocked this thing on my desk, and there is a big scratch on the dust cup lid now.
Oh.
So that's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I definitely know some manufacturers like the criticism and others don't. That some can handle it and some can't.
Yeah. And look, you know, I appreciate being honest about products, and that's why, you know, I really hope that, you know, that Moose is respectful of my opinion on this machine, because I do think that for the price range that they're charging, it's not worth it, and I don't think that I can, in good faith, recommend it, unless, like I say, because I'm not going to say this is for nobody, because no matter how bad a product is, there's someone out there that wants it. There's someone out there that it's good for. Is it enough to justify the product's existence? Probably not, but there is someone out there. So if you are someone out there where you have exactly 13 stairs and you want a machine that looks like this and has all the problems that this has, and that's what you actively want, and you want to spend $150 on that aforementioned machine, then go for it. And if you're anybody else, then get one of those other 3 machines that I mentioned, or even a machine that's half the price, because that's likely going to give you better service over the years. I mean, and again, I say likely because this thing's brand new. We don't know its long-term durability. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's guaranteed to work, because there isn't quite a reputation yet. This machine is brand new. I was one of the first people to get one of these, at least that I'm aware of. Or I should say, because I know people say this is a rebranded machine, I'm the first person to get this version. Or one of the first. I think Alex. I'm assuming Alex got his at about the same time, because Musu reached out to me. I didn't reach out to them. Same thing with Honiture. They actually reached out to me, which I really appreciate, because honestly, I've been trying to reach out to other companies to get review samples, and it's been really confusing, because obviously I'm new to this whole thing of like asking companies for review samples, but I don't know the proper way to go about it, other than just like go to their support page and say, hey, here's who I am, here's why I want to check out your machine. Do you guys send review samples? And if you do, I'd be very interested. That sort of thing. So I don't know if there's a proper way of going about it. There's not really a blueprint for how to be a YouTube vacuum reviewer. So or at the very least, how to be one when you don't have enough disposable income to just buy machines willy-nilly.
Yeah.
And because I don't like to be that kind of guy that buys a machine to review it and then immediately returns it, because that just I mean, I don't have any moral objection to it. It just seems kind of like I don't know.
I know
I just don't like
Master 1991. He's had some
Yeah, I like his channel. He makes good stuff.
Yeah, he's recently changed over from Dyson to Shark a lot more.
Yeah, he's been buying a lot more Sharks recently. A lot of machines that I haven't even really heard of. Which, to be fair, Shark did kind of quietly come out with like a bunch of new machines in the last few years, because the only ones that they really advertise are obviously the Apex and Vertex machines, and then because like the ADV models and all that, like no one had ever really heard of prior. Yeah. They just kind of showed up at one point. But yeah,
Shark has had some different marketing attempts in my eyes. I've seen they've had pictures of a Dyson DC-017 on some of their boxes recently at Walmart.
Interesting.
Surprised that came off patent so early.
Oh, here's a good comment. Amazon and eBay ban users that buy products for reviews, then return them in excess. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, because to me that kind of seems like you're abusing the return system. Because it's one thing if you buy a machine and it's a piece of shit and you want to take it back, but if you're buying a machine with the full intent of returning it right before the 30 days happens, then that's kind of shady, because at that point you're trying to like rent a machine for free. And I'm not a fan of that, especially because people try to do that with my machines too. I'll refurbish a machine, and someone will buy it, use it for a weekend, and then they'll lie and say that it's broken, and then demand their money back, and then I get it back, and there's nothing wrong with it, and then now it's all dirty and nasty, and I got to refurbish it again, and I just lost all that profit. So that's why I stopped accepting returns, because half the time when people tell me that something's broken, they're lying to me, because I get it back and there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. So then, like, on the rare occasion that someone actually has a problem, which I'm a human being, sometimes I'm going to screw up and send something out that breaks. That's just going to happen when you sell as many machines as I do over the years. But I don't know who to trust, because, I'll sit there and test something. I'll vacuum my entire room with it. I'll, use it to clean my entire house. Then I'll refurbish it again, clean it out again, list it, sell it. And then they're like, oh, I used it for 2 minutes and now it's broken. And I'm like, really? And it's just like, I don't know how to trust people. which is why, you know, ideally, whenever I get to the point where I can, you know, open my own shop, then at that point, I'd be like, okay, bring it in and we'll see it. And then I'll be like, okay, and they'll clearly see there's nothing wrong with it. And I'll be like, why do you want to return this again? I mean, and I'll say, like, you can just be honest with me if you don't like it. I'll let you get something else if you don't like it. And that's the thing, because it's like, when you're lying to me and saying there's something wrong with it when there isn't, I have no respect for that. But if you're just honest, if you're like, hey, I don't really like this vacuum, it's got some little quirks with it that I'm not a fan of, is it possible I could get something else? Like, no one ever does that, but if someone did, like, I'd be like, yeah, sure, totally, like, I totally understand that, you know, and at least within reason. If I don't have anything else, then yeah. Or if it's the kind of thing where sometimes people try to do this, well, where they'll buy a cheap machine, they'll say they don't like it, and then they'll want me to just, like, trade them out a more expensive one without them paying any more for it, and that's just like, no, you know, because then at that point they're just trying to, like, they're trying to be like,
they're trying to abuse the system.
Exactly, they're trying to be like, oh, but I just went through all this to get this one, and, you know, can you just help me out and do a deal? It's like, yeah, well, I kind of got bills to pay, and, like, no.
That's unfair to the seller.
Right. I mean, again, unless there actually is something broken. And look, I've done it in the past where if someone gets something that's cheap and it's broken and I have something more expensive, I'll give them a better deal on it, you know, because I understand that it's an inconvenience when you get something and it ends up being faulty. I totally understand that. I'm not just going to be like, oh, you're on your own. The only time I'm on my own or the only time that I tell people they're on their own, which I don't even really do, I'll just kind of ignore them, is if they immediately are, like, really standoffish and they're like, you sold me a junk vacuum, and I'm like, hey, it's okay, I'm just trying to help, and I'll try to help them, I'll try to do whatever I can. This is usually a much bigger problem with phones and computers than it is vacuum cleaners, where people will, like, buy a phone, they'll buy a phone that's 7 years old, they'll buy, like, an old iPhone 5S, and then they'll be like, oh, I want to return it, it doesn't work, and I'm like, why, you know, what's wrong with it? They'll be like, it's slow. And I'm like,
that's what's going to happen with a 7-year-old phone.
It's supposed to be slow. It's an old phone. That's the point. That's why you got a $1,200 phone for $100. I mean, that's common sense. Like,
I've got to go. I've got some things came up. I'll talk to you guys.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. And no one else is here. It is currently 1:32 in the morning, and there is no one in this chat. Alright, so we'll go back to the YouTube chat and see. OMG, do people do it with electronics all the time? That sounds like something Mr. Krabs would do. Yeah. Mr. Krabs in the real world has certainly gotten banned off of every possible seller website and store. So I don't know how he survives. I guess he just has Pearl buy everything for him. Let's see. I just had a burrito and it was so good. I want a burrito. Does anyone know why the new Hoover Wind Tunnel High Performance dropped the suction diverter and the number 3? Well, they dropped the suction diverter because it was stupid and it wasn't necessary. And they dropped the number 3 because that's also wasn't necessary. Because I've had both versions of that machine. I just sold the older style, and then I currently have one of the newer style ones. And, yeah. People do it with electronics all the time, yeah. As we say in the car world, there's a butt for every seat. The reflections of Tracy's Dirt Devils on his glasses at certain times makes his eyes look really bloodshot, freaky. Interesting. You know what else was a startup brand once? EIO. And look where they're at. What is EIO? Simp for shrimp. That is a life motto if I've ever seen one. Zero G is a great example of a startup company. Yeah. 18 bagless Henrys in the shower of Vac Ranch. What? Can't wait for Tracy to read these comments. Somehow that'll make my night. Alright guys, hyped. Post some shrimp. All hail Henry. It's made worse than the trailer home. Hey, I've stayed in some pretty nice trailer homes over the years. I gotta say, some of those are actually kind of nice. And you save so much money. The biggest problem is just the fact that they're not adequately protected, against like storms or even just a bad wind, honestly. And then the only other thing is sometimes you have like you get stuck in really crappy situations where the trailer home can't be moved, and there's a company that bought the property that it's on, so then like you get like illegally evicted by like some loophole where they basically say, hey, if you can't move your trailer in like 2 weeks, even though you have no way of moving it realistically at this point because it's like stuck in the ground, they'll be like, oh, well, then you got to leave it and just leave it behind, and you lost all your money that you spent on the trailer and potentially all your stuff. And it's just like, that happens way too often, and it's really frustrating. But yeah. If the entire B-movie script can be bought on a t-shirt, why can't DBT be? Hail Henry, the final solution. I thought the central vac was the final solution. Freaking normies, stop buying shit facts. Hail Henry. Henry is best. Yes. All hail our Lord and Savior Henry. Even Satan fears the dirt devil. Ironic. Everyone in the chat type. Everyone in the chat, not chap. Oh my god, I'm dyslexic. Everyone in the chat type all hail Henry. Rule Britannia. I can't read that. Let's see. My German engineering. Henry scheme. Someone keeps spamming the Dyson joke. Dyson DC69, DC420. Tysoon over 9,000. Sean K. Bissell sadist torture ASMR. My Decade 80 motor died. Oh no, that's not good. Those Decade 80s are so nice. I love how this chat has descended into memes and shitposts. Meanwhile, Tracy is sounding professional reviewing his machine. Yeah. That's so true. Oh, Alex removed a message. It was probably too spicy for the general public. Someone keeps spamming this stupid like Dyson joke that's obviously not kosher. More hose and bolt torture. Oh god. Desu. What does Desu mean? Is that like bad in Spanish? No, it's not. I don't know what that is. I'm not even gonna pretend. I'm honestly surprised I didn't fail my Spanish classes. Bissells are always cheap on their attachments, especially the brushes. Way too abrasive and hard. Yeah. Still better than this thing. Well, actually, they're probably about the same. No, the Bissels are better. I don't know. That's something I'll look at that in the review. I tried Bissell attachments. They wouldn't fit on this thing. I tried everything. Nothing would fit on this stupid thing. Dyson with their adapters and hose sizes changing with every other model, just like Apple changing charger ports is bloody annoying. That's so true. Idler pulleys are a double-edged sword. Oh yeah, those are awful. Shark Vertex is very good. I haven't tried a Vertex. I do want to try it though. It does seem nice. For what it is, at least. Not worth $400. I don't see any scenario where that thing's worth $400 when for $100 more you could get a Karcher or a not Windsor, a Dart, because a Dart's what, 600, 500, a Seabo Dart. A soda does sound nice right now, but not right before bed. Haha, I'm an adult. I can drink soda before bed. The following stream is sponsored by Mountain Dew Livewire. Just kidding, it's not. I wish it was though. Hey Pepsi, if you're watching this, which if you are, I'm sorry, but Pepsi, if you're watching this, if you want to sponsor my channel, that'd be totally cool. I don't know if you can sponsor a channel wholesale. I think you have to sponsor individual videos, but it'd be so funny. A vacuum review sponsored by Pepsi. That'd be hilarious. Oh, but like unironically, that would be so awesome. Leave Britney alone. Oh my god, this chat is just just cancer. New flavor dust. Anime Desu. I think Desu is a filthy anime meme. I knew Alex was a weeb. He seems like the kind of guy that'd be a weeb. No disrespect, dude. I mean, I got plenty of friends who are weebs. But yeah, Alex is a total weeb. Ruby! No, that's gross. Okay, let's see. I pay for a Mountain Dew branded vacuum. Yeah, I would too. Kind of like how there's a Mountain Dew branded Xbox. I want to get that. I want to get a Mountain Dew branded vacuum. That'd be cool. Mountain Dew Voltage branded, so that way it's blue. Vacuum soda. The following stream was brought to you by Dirt Devil, Musu, Wayfair, Mountain Dew, Bissell, and Hoover. All at once. Nice elephant plushie in the background, T. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even remember where I got it. I'm going to take a wild guess and say Republican National Convention. Let's see. It is a nice color of red. I love the red on that Dirt Devil. Yes. I think Alex isn't watching anymore. Last I saw, he was watching on his TV, so he might still be watching. Just not at... Oh, no. I just remembered he said he was cuddling his wife. It's a lot of revenue. Yeah. Maybe they're watching it on their bedroom TV. That'd be kind of weird. Yeah, I'm not complaining. If you can tolerate my face and my voice enough to watch me on your bedroom TV, then yeah, you deserve it for your Electrolux. That's a lot of revenue. That's a lot of damage. LMAO. Yes. Should I just stop this stream or should I just keep going? Oh, I have cookies. You know what else this stream is sponsored by? Alright, where's my vacuum? Check your local dumpster. What time is it for you? It is 1:42 a.m. on Monday, March 22nd. Because obviously it's 1 in the morning, so it's March. It's March now. It was March before. It's Monday now, which means that it's finally a weekday, so I can ship all the crap that I sold, which includes 3 Bissell stickbacks, the Power Force Helix, and the DC-33. So I sold a good amount of stuff. And I'm happy about that. And I should be getting paid today from YouTube. So your birthday's coming up, Trace. Yeah, it is. In 3 months. Let's see. Yeah, sugar to stay awake because sleep, it's overrated also. Ha! Yay, depression. I just bit my cheek, damn it. Oh, no, I bit my cheek down here. On the inside. You know what I hate about my teeth? I'm gonna swallow this cookie so I don't look gross. See how my teeth are all... Because I have a really bad crossbite. Like, look. I'm gonna smile normally. You see how bad that is? Look at how bad my teeth are. They're all crooked. Like, they're not dirty. Like, you can tell my teeth are relatively white. But they're just crooked and all over the place. And here's the thing. The problem with that is that your teeth are sticking out all over. They're not, like, level with each other. Meaning that if you're eating something, one of your teeth will just randomly get caught on your cheek when you're eating, and you're gonna bite it really hard, and it's gonna fucking hurt really bad. It's going to be bad. Wait, crossbite is a thing? Oh, yeah. You're privileged enough to not know that crossbite is a thing? Yes, it is an actual thing. There's underbite. There's overbite, which I can't even, like, pretend to do. What even causes teeth and jaw misalignment? Well, I'll tell you a story. You see, I'm what you call fucked up. So there are a lot of physical things that are wrong with me. Not all, but most of the physical things about me are wrong, including my teeth. And also this cookie is about to break off in my hand. But, so, my teeth are one of those things where because I was born preemie by a lot, this area wasn't properly developed, which is why my face is so fucked up and ugly. But these teeth they just grew in all sorts of crazy ways, just however they felt like. They just grew in. And obviously, like, I had issues where, like, as a baby tooth, when I was a kid, as a baby tooth would come in, the new adult tooth wouldn't push it straight out like it's supposed to. It would push it out, but the baby tooth would still be kind of attached, so it would push it out at an angle. See where I'm going with this? That's how a lot of this stuff happened, because my jaw was just not aligned correctly. So a lot of these teeth are like this because they grew in incorrectly. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not because of, like, obviously, like, the shape of your teeth wouldn't be because of, like, bad brushing habits. Like, I've never had a cavity in my life. I've always had good reports whenever I've gone to the dentist. I brush twice a day. I use mouthwash. I don't floss as often as I used to because it makes my gums bleed, but I still should be flossing. But I generally don't. I still have my wisdom teeth, too, because my insurance is so garbage that they tried to take out my wisdom teeth while I was still conscious and not under any sort of... Is asphyxiation the right word? I wasn't under any sort of, like, sedative. Is that also the right word? I was fully conscious, that's the point. And they just put, like, you know, stuff in my mouth that would numb it, you know, like the numbing stuff, but I was still fully awake. And my wisdom teeth are so far in there that they tried to take one of them out, and I kept choking. This is going to be really gross. So if you're sensitive to this sort of thing, you might want to leave now. I started choking because my wisdom tooth was bleeding because they were trying to remove it, but it wasn't coming out. So they kept having to pause because I kept choking on my blood. Isn't that a fun story? And this was like a few years ago. So, and I'll be honest, I've been to a dentist maybe like twice since then. But yeah, so the point is my teeth are fucked up. And I still have my wisdom teeth. Even though I'm almost 21, I still have my wisdom teeth. So, which I don't think you're supposed to still have at 21, but it is what it is. So, but yeah, so my teeth are really bad. They're really messed up. My gums bleed all the time. I have like is it gingivitis? I don't know. It's not gingivitis, but it's just like where your teeth are like discolored towards the gum. It's really bad. And I already had sensitive teeth, so if someone said what is the biggest physical flaw you had that you could change of any category, then and they said you could just fix it with the snap of the fingers, I would say my teeth in my mouth. Because if I had straighter teeth, and the reason why I didn't get this fixed is because I didn't mean to flip you guys off, but because I didn't get this fixed, because I never got braces as a kid, even though I was supposed to, because my parents wouldn't get me braces, either because I don't know if it was because they didn't want to or just because they couldn't afford it with insurance, because the U.S. has a fantastic healthcare system, and I'm totally not being sarcastic. It is amazing, and you should love it, and it's totally not a smoldering piece of shit. But so my teeth basically were not molded into braces or anything whenever they had the opportunity, so now they're stuck like this. So by the time I figured out that that I wanted braces and all that, and that I actually cared, or I should say, actually, no, so it wasn't because my parents like wouldn't get them for me. It was just because I just didn't really care, and I was like, I don't care if I have braces, I don't care if my teeth look straight. But then by the time I decided I wanted it, they're like, yeah, the only way we're going to fix this is if you have major reconstructive jaw surgery, which can kill you. And I was like, I think I'm okay. So yeah, it's either deal with this or possibly die on the operating table, because they're literally tearing, like breaking, they would have to like break off a piece of my jaw and like push it back in like 2 different sides to like realign it and then realign all the teeth. It's just, ugh. It would just be a nightmare. So, yeah. I don't know how this turned into a conversation. It went from vacuums to me talking about my teeth. I don't understand how this happened. Oh, because of the cookies. And I bit my lip. That's how we got here. Ooh, why is there a hair in it? These Subway raspberry cheesecake cookies are so good. So good. That's another thing that I just noticed, is that there's like an air gap in like my jaw on this side, and sometimes on this side too, where as I'm eating, you'll hear like air, like on the inside, like by where your ear is, like where your nose and ear are all connected. It's like an air like rushing sound, and that can be really annoying too. I don't know if that's like a normal thing or that's just because of my face. Subway sugar cookies and peanut butter cookies with a goat. Jeez, I also didn't know jaw realignment was a thing also. That's flipping scary. Is that what that clicking sound is? Might be. I don't know. Obviously I can't tell because I can't hear it inside my face. But when I chew, yeah, when I chew. Which is another reason why I generally don't like eating on stream, because I'm kind of insecure about how I look when I eat. Which is why I don't do like mukbangs or anything like that, where like you eat with like a lot of people. Because I'm usually pretty insecure about whenever I eat on stream. That's why like in a lot of my older streams when I was like living at my dad's, and you know, like if he would sometimes like, you know, obviously make dinner and stuff, and he'd bring me dinner while I'm streaming, and I would turn off the face cam and I put it on a video or something and just play that while I was eating, so you couldn't hear me or see me. But yeah. Is that mukbangs are? Yeah, mukbangs are like whenever people like wait a long time to eat and they just eat a crap ton of food with like friends on camera. It's pretty fun. But I just don't like eating in front of people. I mean, it's not as bad as it used to be. Like I'll still eat obviously you'll see I eat a cookie or something on stream, but I try to go out of my way to not do it just because it just seems kind of rude to me. And I'm just sitting here eating and making people hungry. Oh damn, you're right. Nice new place, T. Yeah. Did you know sometimes the dentist will fake you having a cavity for money? Sounds like a crappy dentist, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Mukbangs don't sound like a recipe for... Mukbangs doesn't sound like a recipe for bulimia. Ugh. Ew. Anyways. Let's see. Were there any USA spec Dysons that were made in the UK? I don't know what you mean by that. Because obviously if they were sold in the UK, they would have the UK specifications as far as power and motors and all that. What's wrong? Why are you whining? What's wrong? Oh, hi baby. You alright? Hi baby. How are you? She's probably freaking out 'cause she's about to have puppies soon. We just rescued another dog, literally 2 days ago. And that dog was really depressed. And obviously not really going around people. And then and Ruby came along and let's just say the dog got its confidence back. And now she's about to have puppies. Good night, y'all. Once I let my mom use one of my Dirt Devil Dynamites and she used it with no filter, so now it is very loud from lots of dirt in the motor. Oh god. That's why you don't let people borrow your vacuums. At least not collectible ones. I thought she was just chubby from overeating. Well, no, I mean, she just got, you know, this literally happened last night, so it's not like, or like, it was like a day or two ago, so she wouldn't be showing anything yet. She wouldn't have a Prager belly yet. At least I don't think. Do they show anything that fast? I don't think they do. I think she's just a little bit chubby because she's been eating a lot. But yeah, we're gonna have some puppos. Some beautiful puppos. Anyways, I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut the stream right here at 2 a.m. And I'll see you guys in the next stream, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And take care and have a good one. Peace.